Let's get it. Hey. Like, whoa. DBN is like, whoa. Y'all already know that. DBN Live is like, whoa. Let me go ahead and say what's up to everybody in the comment section. Welcome to another great edition of the DBN Live Show. Man, we got to talk about it. We gonna have to preach on this news. Yes, sir, we gonna have to preach on this news. Let me go ahead and shout out some of my cats in the comment section. My man said, Dante, what's good? My man, welcome to the Third Coast. Sports TV is like, whoa. All right. My moderator, King Corleone, is like, whoa. He said new media or no media. You know that's like, whoa, all day. Yes, sir. My man, welcome. He said, keep your foot on these monkeys' neck all day. I got blisters on my foot, boy. It go down. Man, my man Lawrence Williams said, what's going on, man? He's like, whoa. Jim McMiller. Always got to give shouts out to everybody. The first cats in the comment section, man. Gennady Golovkin. He's going to fight that boy, Finalized. It is official. Canelo Alvarez. They done let the boy out early. He gets to fight Golovkin in September. We're going to talk about it. You guys can call in, too. You guys can call in if you want to give your take on this crazy news. Yep, that's what it is, man. All day. My moderator, Cass, is like, whoa, what's going on, man? He said, home of the truth. You already know that. You already know that. We about to get it in, man. We about to get it in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and rep your city. Rep your state, rep your town, rep your country, your island, your block. We international over here, y'all. All day, y'all. Yeah, man. It's about time to get it in. It's about time to get it in, y'all. With no further ado, let's start talking about this news. Let me switch up my music over here. Switch this camera up. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. She draws smiles, her face is a canvas. All right. Let's do this, y'all. Let me switch this camera up. Once again, y'all, welcome to another great edition of the DBN Live Show. So I wanted to go ahead and report the news that just broke today. Apparently, it is official. Gennady Golovkin, he will be facing super welterweight Finalized. That's right, I said super welterweight because he's never fought at middleweight. So obviously he's not ranked at the middleweight division. In fact, he hasn't fought in 2 years. To add on to all of that, his last fight he had 2 years ago was an L. Okay? Now, I want to know what's going to happen with the IBF belt, because Sergey Derenyevchenko is Golovkin's #1 mandatory. And they've been pushing hard to take that belt from Golovkin if they don't fight. So we'll see what happens in that situation. Now, let me talk about the Canelo situation, because this is the type of stuff that kind of bothers me. So Canelo, he was supposed to have his hearing today. He had it. And the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they unanimously voted to suspend him for 6 months. But check this out, because this doesn't make any sense at all. Now, what they did, and they think they're being slick, what they did was suspended him for 6 months, but they backdated the suspension. They retroactively backdated the suspension to February 17th, to when he first failed his original test. Now, keep in mind, Nevada State Athletic Commission, they actually suspended him March 23rd. But they decided all of a sudden to backdate the suspension to February 17th. Why? So that gives Canelo enough time to fight Gennady Golovkin in September. This is a joke, guys. This is a joke. It's not even a suspension, because Canelo was already going to fight in September. So suspension or no suspension, what changes? And on top of that, Nevada State Athletic Commission, they refused to fine Canelo Alvarez, because they could have fined him as well. Just like they fined Roger Mayweather when Roger Mayweather got suspended for that Mayweather Zab Judah situation. When all hell broke loose in the ring, he was fined and suspended. And he was suspended for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was mistaken for a whole year. I have to look that up, but you guys tell me in the comment section. Wasn't Rogers suspended for a whole year in that fight? Yeah, he was suspended for quite some time. But Canelo Alvarez, if you really think about it, he doesn't get a suspension. There was no suspension in this situation. That's like Canelo Alvarez being in prison, and they're still allowing him to promote a fight that he has the week after he gets out of prison, right? He's in prison putting on press conferences. They letting him out of jail every once in a while so he can do media workouts, so he can go on tour and promote the fight, and then he got to, check back in his jail cell. But then they give him enough time to be released from prison to still have his fight. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. It's not a suspension. And this is exactly what I predicted what would happen. What you guys talking about over here in the comment section? Can't even joke about something. He said, can't even joke about something so stupid. I hear you. My man said, DBN, this is the double standards that they keep doing to black fighters. That's more than obvious. The proof is in the pudding. That's more than obvious. Is Rod Salka available? That's amazing that Rod Salka's name has become synonymous with cherry picking. That's a damn shame. And, well, I should say, Rod Salka, Danny Garcia, and the word cherry picking is all synonymous now because of Rod Salka and Danny Garcia. Let me go ahead and introduce one of my DBN lieutenants. I proudly introduce this man. He's in that super chat section. I appreciate the donation, family. My man Mike Biggs Boxing. He said IBF will strip GG. Peace, DBN and new media. You know what, man? I want to see it. Matter of fact, we're going to interview. We're going to get an interview with the IBF and see what they have to say about this situation. It would make no sense to me. Now, Lou DiBella, he was on my show the other day. If you haven't caught that interview, it was a great interview. Check it out. It's on my channel. But Lou DiBella, he was basically saying if Golovkin is exonerated, there's no reason for us to have to wait to get a fight with Golovkin. wait for someone who got suspended. He said, my bad. He said if he was suspended, there's no reason for us to wait. But if he was exonerated, then they would basically give him a pass. That's what Lou DiBella said, right? But now Golovkin, he is suspended. Even though it's not a real suspension, he is suspended, right? That belt should be stripped. The IBF should be taking that belt from Gennady Golovkin since Golovkin refused to fight his mandatory, right? And I'm gonna say this too. When Golovkin decides to fight against an opponent that none of the fans want to see him fight, this means in this situation, Golovkin did not care anything about the fans. This means HBO didn't care anything about the fans. HBO cared more about Golovkin's interests than the fans. If that is the case, why is any fan defending the actions of Golovkin to fight an opponent that nobody wants to see him fight? A man who's not even a middleweight, a man who's not even a middleweight, a man who hasn't fought in 2 years and is coming off of a loss. You call yourself doing something for the fans? People love to say that kind of stuff. We do this for the fans. And, big drama show. Big drama show and all this Mexican style and let's put on a big show. This ain't no big drama show. This is the furthest thing from a big drama show. Okay? HBO, they did the boxing world a disservice by allowing this fight to take place because they had the power. HBO had the power to pull the plug on the shenanigans. HBO could have easily said, no, Golovkin, you're not fighting on the network unless you fight an elite fighter. We need you to fight an elite fighter. And if you don't fight that elite fighter, you're not fighting on the network, Golovkin. You got Charlo, you got Andrade, you got Danny Jacobs, you got Sergey Derenyevchenko, you got BJ Saunders, and forget about some of them already having scheduled fights, because I can damn near guarantee you that if HBO would have reached out to Charlo and Danny Jacobs, I can guarantee you they would have pulled out of those fights and gladly taken the Gennady Golovkin fight on short notice. Both of them already had fights scheduled around the same time. It would have been no problem. It would have been an upgrade for Charlo. Charlo was fighting on an undercard. You think Charlo wouldn't leave an undercard on Broner's undercard to fight in the main event pay-per-view against who? Triple G? Of course he would have. Of course he would have. We know this. We know this. So yeah, man, it's a lot of BS going on right now. And I'm going to go to the phone lines in a minute. I'm about to go to the phone lines. A lot of BS, man. A lot of BS. I don't know who looks worse, Canelo or Golovkin, or HBO and the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They could have really, really sent a powerful message. Somebody fails a drug test for PEDs and they get this slap on the wrist. That's basically letting other people know, if I get me some clenbuterol, all they're gonna do is suspend me, but they gonna make sure they still allow me to fight. So really, it ain't gonna be a suspension. What did Canelo lose in this situation? Canelo didn't lose anything in this situation. He's still gonna train the same way he was gonna train before, and he's still gonna fight on the exact date that he was gonna fight on before. Right? It's a joke, man. The whole system is a joke, man. HBO, Nevada State Athletic Commission, they're all jokes. They're all jokes. HBO could have put the same pressure on Golovkin to fight Charlo, Darren Yevchenko, Danny Jacobs rematch, all these fighters. Andre, HBO could have put the same pressure on Golovkin that they put on Andre Ward to step up and wait and fight against Sergey Kovalev. They could have did that. But when it comes to a fighter having his hope insurance, they gladly accept him fighting weak opposition, because at the end of the day, they don't care about the fans not being pleased. They care about Golovkin not getting knocked to his knees by a tough-ass opponent. Let's go ahead and take a call, man. Let's go ahead and take a call. For those of you guys who been following me for quite some time, you may notice we changed the guest code. Okay, so if you had memorized the guest code before, we changed the guest code, and it's on the screen right now. But we're gonna go ahead and take a call. I don't like this beat over here. Hold on, I gotta change this music over here. It's giving me a headache. Okay, there we go. Now I'm back at home with my theme music. Okay, let's go ahead and take a call. Hold on, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We over here talking about Golovkin, the news. Golovkin, it's official. Him fighting against Finalized, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Canelo Alvarez. They done let that boy out on good behavior. They gave him a small slap on a pinky toe and basically said he was suspended coincidentally just until he has time to fight Golovkin in September. They didn't find the boy. They could have fined him. They could have suspended him for a year. They could have suspended him for 2 years. But they decided to suspend him for 6 months. We're going to talk more about that. Let's take another call, or let's take the first call. All right. We got 910. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Dante, what's going on, man? It's Wink.
You said it's Wink?
Yeah, Wink.
What's going on, Wink? Where you calling from?
Yeah, man, I'm calling from Houston, man.
All right. Houston always in here thick. Texas. What's on your mind, family?
Man, let's just go ahead and get this shit on out of the way. I'm already seeing dudes in the comment section because 78, shout out to 78 and the rest of the LDBC and you and Boxing Nigo for everything y'all do for the boxing community. That's first and foremost. But he loaded a video like close to an hour ago about this situation. And, you know, when I go in the comment section, I make a comment. And dudes is already trying to take away from Triple G by saying, oh, well, y'all shouldn't be surprised. They're just steadily giving this dude a pass. And then Pennywise wants to bring up Floyd Mayweather's name when Floyd Mayweather has nothing to do with the situation.
Nothing to do with the situation.
It seems that every time one of these dudes get in trouble or they do some shit and they want to do something that lessens their legacy in boxing, and dudes are out here in the comment section talking about Triple G is the greatest middleweight of all time, which was absolutely ridiculous. He's not even the top middleweight of all time, let alone a top middleweight of all time. But I digress on that point. They're seeming to already get this man every single out, and it's just like unable and Triple G to sit here and make a move like this and fight dudes that's coming off of a 2-year layoff with problems. He hasn't been an efficient fighter in like 3 to 4 years now, and now he's supposed to just come off of the couch and fight what should be an easy fight for Triple G. But who knows? It may end up being a Jeff Horn Pacquiao situation. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if we're going to end up getting that because I don't think he's skilled, and I know he doesn't have the power to put Triple G away.
Yeah,
I just want to know how you feel about this absurd situation.
Oh, man, it's offensive to the game. It's offensive to the sport. And for the fans that are defending Gennady Golovkin, this is what doesn't make sense. Golovkin is making it obvious and clear he ain't thinking about what the fans want. He ain't thinking about them and their best interest at all. So why are you trying to defend someone who's only thinking about themselves? He's, like I said, not giving the type of fights that we want to see. And why in the world have you ever heard us sitting over here arguing up and down why somebody shouldn't fight a line of great opponents and he should fight the weakest of the bunch. You've never heard us on this show trying to push no bullshit like that. You've never heard it before.
Never.
So once again,
Never.
when it comes to Gennady Golovkin, this is what it is, and it's been this way since day one. When like I keep telling people, when Golovkin fought against Willie Monroe, fans did not complain. Fans didn't say,
No.
Fans didn't say, oh, Willie Monroe's a bum. He don't deserve to fight him. Oh, but when it comes to Charlo, guess what they say? Charlo don't deserve to fight him. Charlo don't deserve to fight him. Andre don't deserve to fight him.
Fought? That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Who does Charlo fought? What money has he made? What why does money always have to be the equation in terms of skill?
When these fans ain't getting none, and when they ain't getting none of the money, why would you be caring about a check somebody is getting that they not sharing with you? You supposed to be a boxing fan. You supposed to be, your best interest is getting the fights we all want to see. You know what I mean? So
I could give a damn about about counting another man's pockets or what he's doing. At the end of the day, he know what he signed up for. To sit here and say, "Oh, these guys are putting their lives on the line." Oh God, nigga, just like everybody else has, just like fucking NFL players are doing, just like hockey players, just like MMA fighters, just like every other athlete in this world is already doing. They're putting their life on the line. Shit, even soccer players' lives are on the line and their health is on the line too. So to sit here and act like money isn't going to be made once your legacy is already cemented, because that's one thing. Everybody loves Floyd Mayweather in terms of boxing because they love to see where he came from, how he rose above it. He got in his situation. He took less money to fight against Oscar De La Hoya, beat the man, became the man, and stayed the man, and still is the man even outside of boxing. The man can come back and do whatever the fuck he wants to do, when he wants to do it, can go to another sport, make way more money, can dictate salaries for fighters across the globe, and yet everybody thinks that they're just supposed to fall right into that position and have to do nothing to earn it. And that shit is pissing me off. And Triple G and his limited skill set and his limited coach are out here telling fans what the fuck they should do, how other fighters should fight. Oh, we want this fight because we know we need to least pass the least path of resistance as possible, just like Anthony Joshua. And I'm not even going to get on that bum. Yeah. But at the end of the day, this is what it is. And Triple G needs to go ahead and go to just straight small G's, because he doesn't deserve the capital letters, because he's done nothing in his legacy to deserve so. That's my call. And once again, they painting this man as John Wick, and we know he's not the boogeyman. He isn't. No. He's not. He is not John Wick whatsoever. He's going to get exposed. And when he gets exposed, and if he loses, I hope he loses to a bum, so everybody can truly see that this man was nothing to begin with. Okay, that's my call, Dante. I appreciate you taking it once again. Keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, when I was the first. Welcome to Third Coast Sports TV. That's me. I'm Wink. Make sure you keep your foot on these monkeys' neck, because if you don't, then they're gonna start gaining a little bit more resistance, and they're gonna have all these decals come back out of the woodwork when they're already dying down.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
Fred from Barbershop Conversation and Boxing Ego, Milton, everybody. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, and everybody in the super chat, make sure y'all donate and y'all keep supporting Dante's Boxing Nation.
Thank you, man. Good call, man. Good call. Thank you very much, man. And I just wanted to say one more thing. He mentioned the fans, the detractors or the Golovkin ride or die fans. They were saying, I don't know why anyone is surprised, et cetera, et cetera. No, you're right. You guys are right. No one was surprised. This is not surprising. We knew this was going to happen. We knew that if you had the toughest from the toughest, list of opponents all the way down to the weakest opponent, we knew Golovkin would pick the weakest opponent. We knew this. Now, and I know a lot of people are trying to say, well, you have to understand, they just want to secure the Canelo fight. But you guys have to understand, fans should not be punished just because a man is trying to secure one fight. You know what I mean? The Super Bowl should not be postponed just because one person wants to benefit from it financially. It doesn't make sense. And when you are considered the middleweight champion of the world, there are no such thing as, some of these opponents are too dangerous. Man, you supposed to be the baddest man at the middleweight division. How is anyone too dangerous for you? Do you guys think Errol Spence would do this if he was in this same situation? If Errol Spence had never faced that level of opposition and he had 4 opponents in his division that all wanted his neck, you think Errol Spence would do this? You think Deontay Wilder would do this? If Deontay Wilder had this level of opposition in his division and they all wanted his neck, you think Wilder would do this? Absolutely not, because they have already proven that they don't move like that. Let's take another call. We got 619. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Dante? It's me, Angel Santos. What's going on,
Angel
Dante?
Santos, one of my teammates over here, one of the lieutenants and my moderators. What's good, family?
But you know, it's a travesty, man.
Absolutely, man.
I'm tired of it. You know what? And not only is it Triple G's fault for being such a little coward, and I mean, he has a skill set. He's a skilled fighter. It's just that he never proved his skill against other skilled opponents.
Absolutely.
You like to take the weakest link. You like to take fighters that he knows he could beat in it.
Yeah.
You know, he gets away from danger.
He
doesn't fight danger with a simple goal. You know, and another thing is these damn sanctioning bodies, man.
Yeah.
Why do we keep putting credibility on these sanctioning bodies who don't even follow their own rules?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even follow their own rules. Why are we giving these sanctioning bodies credibility? Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. But then again, we say this other sanctioning body, the IBO, isn't a real belt. However, they got the best rankings that they actually use, analyze computerized analytics. Their rankings, we get they're the fake sanction. They're the fake belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to stop doing that.
Yep.
We have to.
Absolutely.
But, you know what I'm saying? And with all this 6-month suspension with Canelo, that's absolute bullcrap, and we all know what it is.
Yeah.
Complexion for the protection, okay? Favoritism, you know?
Absolutely.
And they put in, they got the vested interest because it's a money fight. He's a money fighter. I don't want to hear that crap.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that crap. There's too much corruption. We need the consensus that we all need to come together back with other boxing channels like 7/8 are saying. Get government involved. Question these damn sanctioning bodies.
The sanctioning bodies, the network, the sanctioning bodies, the networks, the promoters. But if we keep putting the pressure on the networks, the sanctioning bodies, we can probably get something done. Nevada State Athletic Commission. I mean, it was the pressure that even canceled the May 5th fight with Golovkin and Canelo. That was the pressure. That was new media. You know, so yeah, we got to continue to put pressure because in no other sport does this go down. In no other sport, you know, do we have to wait once again, have the finals, have the Super Bowl postponed, you know, for one person's best interest so that person could benefit when no one else gets to benefit. You know, I mean, it's a selfish move and it's just, it makes the sport look bad. It makes the sport look really, really bad. You know, so, and then for someone to try to compare, once again, like my caller said before, always trying to revert back to comparing Golovkin to Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to say this again, too. This makes no damn sense. The people who compare Golovkin to Floyd Mayweather, they hate Floyd Mayweather's guts. They give Floyd Mayweather no credit for anything. So why would you be comparing the guy you like and you defending to a guy you despise and hate? How does that logically add up? It doesn't make sense. And the only the interpretation of it all is you're basically trying to say that deep down you have always thought that Floyd Mayweather was a great fighter. You just hated who he was because he didn't have the complexion for the protection because he was on a coincidental list. So, you know, that's what that is, man. But yeah, Angel, yeah, this is some BS. And let me go ahead real quick and introduce some new lieutenants in that tank, riding heavy and thick with us. Shout out to one of the DBN lieutenants, Alexander Wilson, showing that donation in the super chat section. I appreciate it. He said, the Vanas fight is a placeholder for the Canelo rematch in the fall. Canelo's suspension ends in August, so the rematch is in September. And let me say something else about that, Alexander. This is how crazy this is, Angel. Now, Canelo Alvarez, he was suspended March 23rd, right? This is when the Nevada State Athletic Commission suspended him. So why did NSAC, they decide today to backdate the suspension to February 17th when he first failed the test? Why did they do that? Obviously, so they can make sure he has enough time to fight Golovkin in September. This shit is a joke, man. This shit is a joke, man. It is just a joke. So there was no reason to suspend him. If you're going to give him time to fight in September, there was no reason to suspend him. The only way you would have suspended him to where it would have really been, a recommendation is if he would have been suspended till next year. If he would have been suspended if you would have suspended his ass till, what, we in April now? If he would have been suspended for a year, suspended to April 18th, that would have been a real suspension. And then Golovkin would have been forced to face elite competition. So, yeah, man, that's what it is. Hey, but good looking out, though, Angel. You got anything else on that?
I just want to say one more thing. These boxers, they have families and they got kids to see, all right? Like Jamal Charlo, Danny Jacobs, and even though he's from another country, and he's still a good fighter. And he's the IBF mandatory for Golovkin is Derevchenko. He got kids too. He's 30-something too. He's not getting any younger. He should have been right there, boom, stepping in. Because we know Charlo got a fight already, so he can't out. Jacobs got a fight. He already can't make that fight. So that's what should have been Chenko. Even though he's from another country, still got to support him because as real hardcore boxing fans, we want to see the best fight the best. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the best out there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And with this cheating stuff and Canelo, come on, man. These guys are risking their lives in there. What if they did for fight? And it did go through, and then something happened to Golovkin or somebody else that he has fought.
Man.
We've seen it before.
I mean,
so now they dead. They something happens. They can't support themselves anymore because they injured or they dead. And then they families is SOL, shit out of luck, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some kind of quality control, some kind of government intervention. Nothing.
And this is when we have a responsibility as media members. Boxing fans have a responsibility, and especially the higher ups, HBO networks have a responsibility. Everyone, sanctioning bodies, everyone has a responsibility. They need to do something about this. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. And like I said, when Tom Loeffler put on that ridiculous press conference to announce absolutely nothing, those reporters did not do their job. They did not do their job. If this was the NBA and the NFL, man, they would have crucified Tom Loeffler and Golovkin with questions. And it would have been logical questions. It just would have been tough questions that they didn't expect. You know what I mean? If this was politics, they would have been crucified with the toughest questions. But over there, in that press conference, it was like they was getting a massage by the media members over there. So everybody got to do their part, man. Everybody got to do their part. So anyway, all right, Angel, man. I'm gonna go ahead and take another call, family. I'll catch up with you later, man. All right. All right, good stuff, Angel.
No doubt.
All right, one of my moderators, Angel Santos. I'm gonna take another call real quick before I keep yapping. Okay, we got 619. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
What's going on, Dante? My name is Roger. I'm calling from San Diego. How's it going?
All right, what'd you say your name is?
Roger.
Roger. Okay, what's going on, Roger?
How's it going, man? I wanted to kind of deviate a little. I wanted to talk about Gervonta Tank.
Okay.
See what's going on. Do you think he's kind of trying to split apart from Floyd in any way? Do you see that happening?
I mean, I don't really like to talk too much about speculation because I like to really just talk about the facts, the stuff that I actually know, because I really don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I mean, all we know for sure is it's definitely a rocky relationship. It's a rocky marriage right now with Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis. Floyd, he wanted long time ago. He wanted Tank to come to Vegas. Vegas didn't. Tank didn't want to do it. That stirred up some stuff right there, and it's gotten really personal. We hear Floyd say some things. We hear Tank say some things. Now Floyd wants Tank to fight against Lomachenko, and some people interpret that as Floyd is done with Tank. I don't know though. I don't know what it implies and what it entails or ensues. But what I will say is, for all we know, Floyd could be, meeting up with Tank late at night, and they in the gym working on ways to beat Lomachenko. I don't know. Or he could be on the other side of the country, like, let's see what he does against Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to speculate, but we can.
I went on Tank's Instagram, and I kind of may have stalked him and noticed he's not following Floyd Mayweather. Also, the pictures he had up with him on his profile, they're not there anymore. Do you think?
Oh, wow, that's news to me. That's news to me. I didn't know that.
Do you think that's maybe influenced by him being in camp with Adrian Broner?
Do I think what now?
Do you think that Adrian Broner and him being in the same camp has to do with it? Has to do with him not following Floyd as much?
Like I said, man, I can't. That kind of stuff I'm not too sure about, man. I would like to, situations, because I'm a reporter, I would prefer to get somebody from the team on the show and have them kind of shine some light on that, because that's just speculation talk right now. And I'm the type of person, man, I'm like that type of lawyer, man. I want to get the smoking gun. I want to get it caught on camera, the DNA evidence, so. But yeah, like I said, I'll talk to somebody from the team and let them come on the show and explain it a little bit more. But that was informative what you just told me. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Tank removed Mayweather pictures and stopped following him. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was getting that personal. So, well, thanks for that. Thanks for that information, man. Hey, man, but thanks for your call, though, man. I'm gonna try to get to another one. All right, bro?
Of course. All right. Thank you, man. Have a great one.
Hey, you too, man. You too. Yeah, man, that situation. Yeah, I didn't know that, guys. I did not know that it got that personal. But yeah, like I said, man, I'm gonna try to get your boy. I'm gonna try to get Tank or one of them, either Tank or his trainer, trying to get somebody on the show so they can talk about that. I'd rather hear from the horse's mouth. I don't like to do too much speculating. I like to talk with facts. And if I ever tell you something, is a thought, I'm gonna let you know straight up. This is an opinion or whatever. I'm never gonna push something as facts when it's not. So that's how I operate in situations like that. I'm about to take another call, but before I do, let me jump back to the comment section because I haven't looked at the comment section in a minute. So let me see what you guys are talking about over here. What you guys talking about in the comment section over here? Yeah, man. I seen some people were saying don't entertain that conversation about Tank Davis. And you know what? Once again, that's exactly what I kind of mean. That's what I meant, That's what I was alluding to when I was saying I don't really want to go deep into something that's really speculation. We got to have the facts. Like the whole reason we doing this video right now is because the facts are in. It's a fact that Golovkin is going to fight Finalized. It's a fact that Canelo Alvarez was suspended for 6 months just in time for him to fight Golovkin in September. So yeah, we got to stick to the facts at the end of the day. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to report that news, report that there's turmoil in the whole situation with Tank and Floyd Mayweather. But we can't go too deep on it. Can't go too deep on it without facts. Let me go ahead and introduce and shout out another one of the lieutenants in this DBN tank over here. I appreciate the donation, fam. My man Kevin Stenhouse always showing love in the super chat section. He said, if GG gets stripped, then who fights for the belt? If GG gets stripped for that IBF belt, we know Sergey Derenyevchenko is going to fight someone. I don't know who he would fight. All I know is you got who? You got Charlo fighting Centino for the WBA strap. You got Danny Jacobs fighting against Selesky for which belt is that? Is that the WBO? Is that the WBA? I forget which belt that is, but they're fighting for another mandatory position. You guys let me know in the comment section what belt that is. Charlo versus Canelo. Oh, my man Roger, who just got off the phone, he said Charlo versus Canelo. Charlo wins that fight easy, I believe, Roger. I believe if Canelo struggled against Austin Trout, and we already know, I didn't even think about that till now until I just said it, but we know what Charlo did to Austin Trout. If Charlo, if he struggled against him, I mean, to be honest, Shane Mosley, Canelo didn't even look that great against Shane Mosley in the first 6 rounds. A very old, faded Shane Mosley. But once again, you guys, you have to understand something. There's a reason why Canelo would choose to fight someone other than Charlo. Because Canelo, he agrees with my assessment when I say Charlo would have a chance of beating him. Because if I was wrong, Charlo would be rushing to fight Canelo, excuse me, I'm mixing these names up. Canelo would be running to fight Charlo, just like he ran to fight Amir Khan, just like he ran to fight Angulo, right? It's not a coincidence you fight an opponent who you have a better chance of beating than the guy you have a better chance of losing to, right? So yeah, so Charlo, yeah, I see my man said Charlo with the reach and height. Oh yeah, I mean with his reach, his height, his natural power, his boxing ability, his coordination, rhythm. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. His power, and this is a higher weight class. Canelo, something else. Canelo, he noticed when he fought against Golovkin. Canelo noticed by contrast of him fighting against fighters like Cotto, Amir Khan. He noticed when he was in there with Golovkin, his power was no longer as effective as it was against those smaller guys. Now you're fighting against guys bigger. So now the knockouts are not coming the way they were before, right? And Canelo never got knockouts when he stepped up in competition anyway. When he stepped up in competition and he fought the likes of the Austin Trouts, the Edeslani Laras, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Golovkins, the knockouts, they evaporated. So if you can't rely on knockout power and you moving up in weight, it will be an uphill battle. It will be an uphill battle going up against Charlo. I don't see Canelo beating any of those guys. I don't see Canelo beating Jacobs, Charlo, Andrade. I don't even think he might not even be able to beat BJ Saunders. And if I was wrong, Canelo Alvarez, he would have them on his hit list. And he has none of those fighters on his hit list. So it's crazy, man, because you got to think about this for a second. Where does Canelo go in this situation? After the Golovkin fight, who does Canelo fight? Is he going to fight Charlo, Andrade, Sergey Derenyevchenko, Danny Jacobs, BJ Saunders? He can't move back down to 155 to his Canelo weight. He can't do that. He certainly ain't going to move up. Where does he go from here? It's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life for your boy Canelo. It's even harder for Gennady Golovkin, because Gennady Golovkin, he claimed he wanted to be the unified middleweight champion of the world. Let him tell it. That's what he always told us he wanted to be. Now, he's finally in a situation where his mandatories are no longer soft touches. Now his mandatories are lions, pit bulls foaming at the mouth, right? They sitting over there just staring at him, ready. And right now, Golovkin, he see that pit bull on the sidewalk, and he done walked across the street, and he walking on the same side of the street that Finalized is walking on. So he got away from that pit bull for now. But eventually, every block you jump on, every block you walk on is going to have either a pit bull or a lion. Okay? Every ocean you jump in is going to have some shark swimming in it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here, I'm going to go ahead and take another call. What you guys talking about in the comment section over here? GG will retire after September. It's very possible. That's very, very possible. Let me see here. Smash that like button. I appreciate you guys pushing that. That's right, man. Smash that like button if you like what we're doing over here. I appreciate everyone showing your love. I appreciate the donations. I appreciate the love in the comment section. Once again, man, I haven't been promoting it that much, but you guys, the last show we did, shout out to my man Boxing Ego. Me and Boxing Ego, we went on a rampage last night. We did a 4-hour plus show, just slashing through decafs. We was in the forest just chopping down trees. It was crazy, man. My eyes was wide awake, boy. I had nails in my eyes, keeping them up. I wasn't going to sleep. Shit, for some cats, it was 4 a.m. Yes, sir. Me and E, man, we went to war last night. We went to war on the decafs all day. So, yeah, man, and I also bring that up to say a lot of cats was asking about the shirts. Once again, man, if you want to cop one of these Fresh Fly shirts, you guys can always donate. You can either donate to me in the super chat section, because this is my full-time job. This is Boxing Ego's full-time job. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys want to show us some love, you want to show me some love right now, you can go ahead and buy one of these Fresh Fly shirts you see me rocking right now. I got so many of these dope-ass shirts. Boy, you go to the boxing events with this gear on, I guarantee you be the most geared cat up in that joint, okay? Y'all see this Fresh Fly when I'm rocking right now? Y'all reading that, DBN? It takes a nation of 1 million decals to hold me back. These decals won't hold me back. These calves won't hold me back. You know what I'm saying? You cop one of these Fresh Fly DBN hats right here. We got the hats in all colors. We got the DBN shirts in all colors. Y'all see that fresh-ass logo behind me? That's the traditional DBN logo. We got that one on a shirt, okay? So y'all show that love. Go to Dante's Boxing Nation at gmail.com and pick up your Fresh Fly dope-ass gear, all right? That's what it is, man. Okay, let's get back to the phone lines. Let me see. Yo, DBN, if GG retire, he won't surpass B-Hop's title defense. Dante, what do you think about the best boxer of the generation getting ready to retire? Pac-Man. We got people trying to turn this into Dante's Comedy Nation. Dante's Comedy Nation is for another channel. I might do that channel too, but not here. Let's get back to Boxing Nation. Okay. My man Money Pal, one of my panelists, he in the comment section, he said, "What's up, man? Just got back in town. MP4 was doing some sparring." That's what's up, man. He talking about his son Money Pal the fourth. For those of you guys who don't know, he's a middleweight prospect, undefeated prospect, and that's Money Pal the third. Just in case you guys don't watch the radio show, he's one of my panelists. His son is one of the best prospects in the world. You know, so he's getting his sparring in. Here, let me see. Well, we're going to talk about that money when we get you back on the horn. But let me go ahead and go back to the phone lines. I'm going to go back to the phone lines, and let me go ahead and introduce. We got before I go to the phone lines or go back to the phone lines, I got to introduce a very special DBN lieutenant. This man is holding it down, representing that tank that we pushing over here. My man, Nabil Khan. Is that Nabil or Nabel? Nabel Khan. He said, appreciate your efforts. Is the expo going down September? You going to be there? Great question, Nabel, and you are absolutely correct. The Box Fan Expo was canceled because the Canelo fight, the Golovkin-Canelo fight was canceled. So, or I shouldn't say canceled, but postponed. So yeah, the Box Fan Expo will now be pushed to September when Golovkin fights against Canelo out here in Las Vegas. And yes, I will be there. I'll be there, and your boy Boxing Ego will be there. We'll be covering it. I'm going to be doing a live podcast show there. Okay? So your boy DBN will be there doing a live podcast show. If you guys come to the Box Fan Expo, come over, say what's up to us. We'll let you get on the microphone and be a special guest in the studio in our live show. All right? So that's what it is. Thanks for the donation, Nabel, and great question, man. Appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. Okay, here, let me see. Let's go ahead and get to the phone lines. Okay, we have 347. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Can you hear me, Dante?
I hear you, man. What's good, man?
Okay, this is the passive student. I'm calling once again. I just wanted to address a few things regarding GGG situation and the phone call that was made last night with that trolling ass casual who was defending GGG.
Yeah.
Like he was his lawyers.
Uh-huh.
The thing is this. This is my issue with one of the arguments that guy made. He said that Golovkin deserved a soft touch in lieu of Canelo and his PED situation. And he just came from a difficult fight from a cheating Canelo. Well, my argument is this. If you really are going to base it on that, and we're comparing it to Floyd's record, actually look at Floyd's record in the latter part of his career. Back to back, this man was fighting top 10 contenders and champions, and soon to be Hall of Famers, and Hall of Famers to begin with. Back to back. Golovkin has not done that. Golovkin is now just starting to flesh out his true ability fighting true top tier contenders. Mm-hmm. You know, with his last fight with his Kell Brooks fight, Danny Jacobs, and Canelo, those are the only three reputable names in his resume that he'll be remembered for. He ain't gonna be remembered for no David Lemieux. Mm-hmm. He ain't gonna be remembered for any of those fights prior to fighting Kell Brooks. Yeah. So in that regard, it doesn't make any sense that somebody who doesn't have any real boxing acumen make that freaking statement. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't compare what Gennady Golovkin is doing with his career, picking Martirosyan, a fighter who hasn't been fighting in 2 years, and then on top of that, his last fight was a defeat against Lara. It doesn't make any sense that people would defend this. Oh, no. He needs a tune-up. If we're holding him to the standards of a Floyd Money Mayweather, give me a tune-up in Floyd's latter part of his career. Give me a solid tune-up of a fighter who's comparable to a Martirosyan. Or give me a situation where Floyd picked out a fighter who hasn't fought in 2 years. And you know what I'm saying?
And let me say this.
Like, people were sitting on Floyd because he fought Manny Pacquiao after Manny Pacquiao got his ass knocked out. So imagine what the fucking uproar would be if Floyd did the same exact thing that GGG did. So we're just talking about Floyd and Gennady Golovkin. This situation with Golovkin is ridiculous.
And let me say this. Let me go and say this. I got to jump in and say this. Everything you said made a whole lot of sense. It was so many ways to expose, this dude contradictions when he was trying to defend Gennady Golovkin. It was just because so much was going on, we couldn't throw it all in because he kept cutting us off and all kind of stuff. He kept deflecting and changing the subject. But you bring up a good point, because when One of the things I wanted to say to him is you're trying to compare the old Floyd Mayweather to the in his prime Gennady Golovkin. I mean, that's like trying to compare the Muhammad Ali that lost to Larry Holmes to the Mike Tyson who beat Bone Crusher Smith. You see what I'm saying? You can't, if you're going to compare them, we have to compare. If we're going to compare Floyd to Golovkin, then let's compare the 26-year-old Floyd Mayweather to the prime Gennady Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? That's an equal comparison. We have to compare when they first stepped up in competition. When did Golovkin first step up in competition? He first stepped up in competition probably when he fought who? Because his David Lemieux, because his level of opposition is so weak, you would probably have to say his first step up in competition was against either Kell Brook or Danny Jacobs. Because you can't even say David Lemieux, because David Lemieux had been knocked out a couple times, et cetera, et cetera. So his biggest step up in competition was against a welterweight, and then you could say it was against Danny Jacobs. Now, so if you compare that Golovkin to the 26-year-old Floyd Mayweather, when he first stepped up in competition, it was when he fought against Gennaro Hernandez. So when Floyd was in Golovkin's situation, Floyd was not avoiding 4 or 5 of the top fighters to fight a Finalized type of opponent. At that stage in Floyd Mayweather's career, Floyd Mayweather, he was fighting against Gennaro Hernandez, Angel Manfredi, Philip Endo, Corrales, Castillo. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of opponents he was facing, while Golovkin, he was facing Adama, Dominic Wade, Marco Antonio Rubio, and now Finalized when he could have fought Charlo, Jacobs, rematch, Andrade, Sergey Derenyevchenko, and the list just goes on and on and on. So it's not even apples and oranges, it's apples and rocks, if you really want to compare it.
That's right.
So
that's right. Can I piggyback on this real quick?
Go ahead. And I'm going to get to another call, but go ahead, bro.
Listen, the point is this. Think about it like this. Floyd, back to back, he faced a young prime Canelo and showed extreme separation against Canelo. And following that fight, he goes in and fights Marcos Maidana twice.
20 pounds bigger than him. 20 pounds bigger than him.
Well, he goes in and fights Manny Pacquiao, who everybody thought was going to be. There is nobody. There is Golovkin, when he goes in and faces a more stronger, a much more learned fighter in Canelo, he is struggling with the man. In his fight prior to that, he struggled with Danny Jacobs. In his fight prior to that, with the Kell Brook, like he struggled for 5 rounds until he got the KO. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you can't. There's no comparison.
And
shout out to you, Don. Shout out to Boxing Eagle. Shout out to you dudes for keeping new media alive and fresh. We need people like you guys, man.
Hey, thank you, man. And let me say one more point. So let me just add on to what you just said right now. Imagine Gennady Golovkin fighting a Maidana who's naturally the same size. Put Golovkin in the same situation Floyd was in. Imagine if Maidana came in the ring 20 pounds bigger than Golovkin with that same style. With that same style. You see what I'm saying? Golovkin loses that fight. Golovkin loses that fight. And that's just one opponent. Imagine Manny Pacquiao. Let's just say Golovkin is a natural welterweight. Imagine Golovkin against that same Manny Pacquiao that fought against Golovkin. And we already know Golovkin ain't even he's not even too fond of fighting southpaws. That's why he didn't take a southpaw in this fight right here. So imagine him going against that same Manny Pacquiao where they're at the same weight. Imagine him in there.
Money Powell.
What's going on, Money Pal? But yeah,
hey, what's that?
Yeah, just imagine that, guys. Imagine him going up against these. Imagine him against Shane Mosley. The Shane Mosley that just knocked out Margarito. And they're in the same weight naturally. That same Shane Mosley. No one has a weight or size advantage. You know what I'm saying? And we only naming 3 opponents. I mean, shit, even Ricky Hatton would have been a tough fight. Remember, Ricky Hatton, when he beat Costa Tszyu, that bumped Ricky Hatton up to be pound for pound number 4, the best in the world. People forget this stuff, man. People forget this. That style gave Costa Tszyu all the problems in the world. Just all over him like a cheap-ass suit, mugging him, and constantly just draining him psychologically. And it forced Costa Tszyu to quit. So I'm just saying, if Ricky Hatton was the natural same size, because Canelo is not comfortable on the Golovkin, excuse me. Golovkin is not comfortable on the inside. Golovkin is a mid-range hooker. This is the reason why Willie Monroe was more effective when he was close to Golovkin as opposed to when he was moving away from Golovkin. You feel me? But he had no power. Imagine, Golovkin hasn't dealt with that yet. He hasn't dealt with the guys. And Oscar De La Hoya, you got to credit someone when they right and when they make sense. Oscar De La Hoya said a long time ago, he said, the problem with Gennady Golovkin, he cannot fight going backwards. If you put pressure on him, he's gonna fold under pressure. So that's why we haven't seen these type of opponents fight him yet. And we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it, or he's gonna retire first. So hey man, but thanks for your call, man. I appreciate it. All right, man.
Shout out to you, Dante.
All right. Hey, no doubt, man. Take care, man. Yeah. Hey, so Money Pal, man. So what's going on? Once again, I got my man Money Pal, who's part of the team. His son, like I told you guys earlier, just in case you guys just tuned in, his son is an undefeated middleweight prospect. You guys can check out his sparring and knockout highlights on my channel. Just go ahead and search Money Pal the Fourth, and all my videos will pop up. Check out his work. But Money, man, let's get into it, man. Your reaction on let's start with your reaction on Canelo's suspension, being suspended for 6 months. They didn't fine him. What I thought was really interesting, I don't know if you heard me say it earlier, Money, but what I found really interesting is the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they backdated the suspension. They backdated the suspension to February 17th because they suspended him. They suspended him on March 23rd, but they backdated the suspension to February 17th, the day he felt positive for that test. And what that allows Canelo to do is have time to fight Golovkin September because they backdated it. Because if they didn't backdate it, then he would have been suspended till September. You know what I mean? So your thoughts on that situation, right, and the news of Golovkin officially fighting Finalized.
Okay, I wasn't aware of the back date, but the suspension we all saw coming. But I'll tell you what, this is what I felt that was going to happen. Triple G was not going to follow along with the IBF and go against the IBF. And my personal belief, I think he's going to lose 2 belts this year, or be on the verge. He will definitely lose the IBF title. That's no biggie to him, but it's the WBC title.
Yeah.
And with the main thing is this: get across that finish line to fight Canelo.
Just make it to the finish line. Yeah.
Just make it to that finish line, fight Canelo, and then deal with the option. Okay, I lost the IBF belt. Deal with the WBC mandatory. Okay. And then probably be stripped of that one and remaining with the WBA at the top of next year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking that's possibly going to happen.
Yeah. That's
now.
I think he's going to retire, man. I just think he's going to retire. That's what.
Of course.
The more, just the look on his face in this picture right here. I got this picture up right now, and to me, that is the look of a man saying, "I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. They want me to fight Charlo. They want me to fight Sergey Derenyevchenko. I'm sick of this shit." In fact, Money, he actually said something very, very analogous to what I'm saying right now. I told you right after Ward beat Sergey Kovalev, Golovkin, he said in his own words, he said, you know, I'm thinking about retiring soon, maybe after the Canelo fight. He said this. He said, you know, my family wants me to retire, and he said every fight is difficult. He said that. He said every fight is difficult, right? So if you think that, to me that translates to the fights are getting harder. The fights are getting harder. You know, the fights are getting harder. Let me get out while I can. That's basically what that translates to. But this is I mean, he's doing the sport a disservice, man. You know, once again, you know, for everybody who's been pushing Golovkin and saying how he's great and he's this and he's that, and when he has an opportunity to actually show he's great, this is when he wants to check out. I mean, he should have been clamoring. He should have been clamoring for fighting, you know, someone like Charlo and all of these. It's kind of like Errol Spence. Imagine if Errol Spence, you know, he wants Danny Garcia, he wants Keith Thurman, he wants this guy and that guy. Then all of a sudden, all of them say they'll fight him, and then he says, you know what, I changed my mind. I'm thinking about retiring. And then he doesn't fight him. And then Errol Spence doesn't fight Keith. He doesn't fight Danny. He doesn't fight any other young lion that's coming up. He just retires, right? Or, I mean, or to take it even further, one more example. Imagine if Errol Spence didn't fight Kell Brook, right? He never fought any of those guys because before he fought them, everybody was saying he was just hype. Everybody was saying that Errol Spence, all he is a glorified sparring partner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So imagine if he kept that reputation and he never fought the Kell Brooks, the Keith Thurmans, the Danny Garcias, and all these guys. And then soon as he had an opportunity to fight those guys, he up and retired. What would they be saying about Errol Spence? This is exactly what Gennady.
It's like it's almost like, and I hate to say it like this. Oh man. And I know we're live. It's almost like what we call a draft dodger.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's time to serve. And all of a sudden you go AWOL.
You ain't answering the door when they show up. Yeah.
You know, and based on that scenario that you gave, it was a good scenario. Errol would never live that down.
And he would never.
No.
He would never.
Never.
And this is very, very equivalent to what Golovkin is attempting to do. Outside of Canelo Alvarez, who, like I said, wasn't his Sugar Ray Leonard, wasn't his Hearns, wasn't his Hagler. You know what I mean?
No.
I would say Canelo Alvarez was kind of like Golovkin's Philip Endo or something like that. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what he was. You know, don't get me wrong. It's a good name on his resume. It's a good look. It's in the right direction. But you have to keep the momentum though. You know what I mean? If Floyd Mayweather just fought Philip Endo and then retired, would he be considered TBE or the best of this generation? If he just beat Gennaro Hernandez. Gennaro Hernandez was the favorite to win that fight. People don't know that. He was the favorite to actually beat Floyd Mayweather.
He was a heavy favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, Floyd wasn't counted on at all. It was like, okay, hey, you just give a good try at it. You make the bounce back, and all of a sudden, Floyd takes over from that point on. Now he's on the scene, and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I see somebody in the comment section said Endo, that's a slap in the face. But people don't realize Philip Endo was actually a good fighter. That was he was the number one contender for Floyd Mayweather. He was tall, rangy. He had the best jab, at the time in the business. That was supposed to be a hard fight for Floyd. And Floyd, he destroyed him. Took away that jab with that pull right hand counter.
Destroyed. Oh,
yeah,
that's
man.
Another statement.
But
yeah. To go even further, it's like, okay, when you look at Canelo, yeah, he fought some pretty decent guys, but none of these guys really stood out. They weren't superstars, man. These guys were not superstars. They were good fighters, but they were not superstars. So here it is. Okay, Triple G, yeah, you fought Canelo, who fought a pretty good bit of guys, but what superstar did he fight?
What superstar did he fight? What super?
You know, to me, it goes back to the college. You know, like how I look at like college rankings. You know, it's like what division are you in? Are you in the SEC?
Mm-hmm.
The Big Ten? You know, all these other ones. So it's like, okay, you can say you're this and you're that, but when you come over here, where do you really stand?
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, I mean, because somebody saying you can't. There's somebody else said you can't compare him to Endo. Let me just say this. First of all, I would like to ask you, what opponent would you compare? What opponent would you compare Canelo to on a Floyd Mayweather's resume? I want to ask you guys that. And it's another thing I want to bring up is you have to remember, Gennady Golovkin, he didn't even clearly win the fight against Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even a clear-cut win. It was a close decision. But let's just say a best case scenario. Let's say Canelo Alvarez was pound for pound top 5, one of the best fighters in the world, which he wasn't. But let's just say even that was the case. If that was the only guy that he beat on his resume, because the Danny Jacobs fight, a lot of people feel he lost that fight. You know what I'm saying? So that means you got this one person on your resume, and you got 4 to 5 other opponents on your resume, right? 4 or 5 other opponents, number one mandatories, that you could be facing. Why aren't you facing them? Because by comparison to Floyd Mayweather, after Floyd Mayweather beat Janelle Hernandez, it didn't stop there. And I see somebody comparing him to Shane Mosley. Somebody put Shane Mosley. So let's use Shane Mosley as an example. Now, remember, after Floyd Mayweather beat Shane Mosley, he still fought who? He fought Manny Pacquiao. He fought Canelo Alvarez, right? He fought Maidana, who was 20 pounds bigger than him. He continued to fight the best competition available. So even using Shane Mosley as an example, why isn't, and keep in mind, this is already when Floyd Mayweather had been pro way longer than Gennady Golovkin. He had already beat way more pound for pound Hall of Famers, top 10 pound for pound fighters than Gennady Golovkin. So if you compare it to Shane Mosley, if you compare Endo to Shane Mosley, then why isn't Golovkin continuing to fight the Charlos? Because that's what Floyd would have did in that, in that exact equation, right? So yeah, man. But hey, look.
No, you make a solid point. It's like, okay, look at Floyd. The guys that he fought, they were all top 10. Many of them, considered pound for pound. There's no argument there.
No argument at all.
There's simply there's no argument. So it's like, okay, who has Triple G fought that was like solid top 5? Let's go. Let's straight that down some. Top 5. Who has Canelo fought that is solid top 5 that
pound for
this
pound
is worth watching?
Pound for
pound, man. Let's go with it. Let's go with that, and let's see what we have. Sorry, that's just not happening.
It's not happening. Golovkin, this is factual. Golovkin has never beat a top 5 pound for pound champion. He has never done it. He's never done it. You know what I mean? And once again, when Floyd Mayweather beat Ricky Hatton was number 4 pound for pound, the best fighter in the world. When Floyd Mayweather beat Corrales was number 5, the best fighter pound for pound in the world. We're not just talking about the division. We're talking about pound for pound. When Floyd Mayweather beat Shane Mosley was top 10 pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world, and he had just got crowned the number 1 welterweight. He was ranked above Floyd Mayweather in the welterweight division because he had just knocked out Margarito, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Right before he knocked out Margarito, Jim Lampley said, Shane Mosley is attempting to become the number 1 welterweight in the world. And if he knocks out Margarito right now, that is what he is, right? Manny Pacquiao, they had Manny Pacquiao ranked. Some organizations had him number 2, some had him number 3. Pound for pound, the best fighter in the world when he fought against Manny Pacquiao, right? Janelle Hernandez was top 10 pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world. So my point is, it's not even apples and rocks, it's apples and bugs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Hey, let's take another call, Money. Let's see what we got over here. Okay, we got 973. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Hey, what's up, Dante? My name is Karate Malik. I'm from Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. I just want to touch on 3 points. One with the Golovkin and the Canelo fight, and this is something that I heard nobody touch on. If you remember, Canelo said that he was never going to fight in Las Vegas again, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's what he said.
That's what he said.
True.
Now, you were talking on the point about how Nevada had backdated his suspension. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Why? In my opinion, because I don't know, but in my opinion, I believe that they backdated because they know the money that Canelo would bring into Las Vegas, Nevada. Canelo is the biggest draw since Floyd Mayweather in Nevada, because that's the biggest one next to a fight with Dante and Joshua. That would be the only bigger fight, or somebody with Spence in Las Vegas. But that's what I think is the reason why they backdated his suspension, because they want him to fight in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's a good point,
okay?
and I forgot about that.
All right.
Yep, and I forgot about that.
Right. Now, I want to touch on the point about what you were saying a lot about Floyd Mayweather, because I'm Floyd Mayweather's biggest fan in Newark, New Jersey. All right. Now, we were talking about how Floyd fought all of these world champions and how they're trying to compare. Floyd was calling out Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya, and all them other top guys, and nobody wouldn't fight him. As a matter of fact, when he started calling out Shane and Oscar De La Hoya, what did they do? They jumped up from 135 to 147.
Yep.
Because they didn't want to see Floyd.
Yep. It's
They
a complete.
did not want to see Floyd.
He called out Nassim Hamed. He called out Casamayor. He called out Acelino Freitas.
Nobody wanted
Shane
to fight
Mosley.
him.
Nobody wanted to fight him. He called out the type of Floyd Mayweather did the opposite.
Right.
Golovkin is doing the opposite
right.
of what Floyd Mayweather did.
Right.
He's doing the complete opposite. It didn't matter.
Exactly.
It didn't matter what style the fighter had. They could be southpaw. They could be a power puncher. They could be aggressive fighter. They could be a slick fighter.
It didn't matter.
He wanted to fight them all. When people try to say stupid stuff like, "Oh, Floyd was afraid of black fighters" or whatever, Floyd was calling out Casamayor, who at the time was the slickest, most intelligent fighter.
That's right.
He was calling out Shane Mosley when he was undefeated. So you can debunk any ridiculous rhetoric with facts. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, we don't talk speculation over here, man. Everything we talk is backed up with facts. You know what I mean? And if I ever tell you something is a rumor, I'm gonna tell you, a source said this. I'm gonna make sure you know. You know, so yeah, man.
Right.
Hey, but
now, I'm 53 years old. I'm 53 years old, Dante. But I've been following boxing since I was 8 years old. I've been in martial arts since I was 9. So I've been in the fight game for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to touch on another point about Errol Spence. I think Errol Spence is the baddest man from 147 all the way up to probably 154. Now, I got a little beef with the casual boxing, because he's talking about how Errol Spence is a weight bully. Like, for real? What fighter do you know that fights in the lower class that doesn't have to make weight? So if that's the case, then they all weight bullies then.
Yeah.
All of them.
You saying you got? You saying you got a problem?
Casual boxing. Yeah.
You say you got a problem with a casual boxing? You say you got a problem with a casual boxing?
What he said.
You saying there's a boxing channel? Go ahead. Go ahead.
When he was talking about how Errol Spence Jr. is a weight bully and how he fights to come down to fight at 147, he walks around at 170. Hell, Terrence Crawford walks around at 177. So I don't hear him calling Terrence Crawford a weight bully.
Well, this is the reason why I don't watch channels like that, and I never even watch this dude's channel, because every comment that I see in the comment section is always regurgitated. It's the same stuff. I don't have to watch. I don't have to, and this is why I don't do it. I don't have to watch like some ignorant person just pushing rhetoric. If I want to know what that person thinks, all I gotta do is look at my comment section. I'm bound to see, one of those talking points, and then I'm going to know what all of them think, because it's not like they have something original to say. It's always the same talking point. Once again, like you just said, if all it takes is for one racist person to say that Errol Spence is a weight bully, and then that's going to catch fire with all the other decafs. They're going to throw that out like red meat, and they all going to start eating it, and they're going to use the same talking points. So, like I said, that's why I like to have a decaf come on the show, and, when people say, oh, hang up on him, hang up. No. I like to keep him on, because when I talk to that one decaf, I know they are all using the same talking points. So I get to kill 10,000 decafs with one stone. You know what I mean? So that's why, same thing with Fox News or whatever, that's why I tell people, I would never watch Fox News. I already know what they saying, because all I got to do is listen to a racist person send me a message in the comment section. They're not that creative.
You know where that's coming from.
They're not that creative. Yep. They're not that creative. They are using all the same talking points. I know before a person even says it, you could just hear what a person is saying. You could tell he the type of person, when he hears about a black kid getting shot by a police officer, you could tell he's the type that's gonna come back and say, oh, well, what about what's going on in Chicago? What about black on black crime? What about the price of tea in China? What about the potatoes in Idaho? You know what I'm saying? All this kind of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Deflection. I'm just saying, so I don't watch ignorance, man. I don't watch ignorance. I already know what they're gonna say, because I have my loyal decafs that follow me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, I'm one of them, Dante.
No, you're not a decaf. You're not a decaf. But you're not a decaf. But yeah,
I'm one of your fans.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Fans, bro.
I appreciate it.
I watch you all the time. I mean, I can't always get in and call, but I always try and comment, or I listen to your replay show all the time.
Thank you.
Boxing Ego, 78. Like, I really admire you brothers, man, because y'all keeping it real in the boxing game, because there's a lot of counterfeit in the boxing game right now.
Hey, bro,
which really turns my stomach. But, brothers like y'all keeping it to the forefront, man, and making it really happen, and educating. See, that's the key word.
I appreciate it, man.
Educating a lot of the cats that don't know nothing. Don't know nothing about boxing, and they just hearsay, and they jump on bandwagon.
And thank you, bro. And thank you, man. I don't mean to cut you off, man, but I got to get to another call, man.
Keep up. All right. Keep up the good work, brother.
Thank you,
God
family.
Bless you guys, man.
Thank you, man.
No problem.
Good stuff, man. Real good stuff, man. So that was real good stuff from my man 973. Yeah, man. Like I said, though, Money, and this is why I tell people all the time. It's no reason for me personally, it's no reason to go around and listen to ignorant people say stuff on the internet. Like I said, man, it's all the same stuff. So there's no reason to have to listen to it. All I got to do is listen to and see what people are saying in my comment section, and I already know what they're going to say. And once again, you have a lot of weak people. You have a lot of weak people in the world, and we talk about this all the time, Money. When you hear, so once again, someone says, think about this. Nobody was calling Golovkin a weight bully. You know what I'm saying? Since we're talking about weight bullies. No. Because this is a narrative that, of course, the racist fans, they push. Let's just be realistic about it. And we know it has something to do with race because, like I said, if it didn't have anything to do with race, they would have called Golovkin a weight bully. So you can't win for losing when you're on the coincidental list. Because if you like Floyd Mayweather,
That is true.
Because when you like Floyd Mayweather and it's about finesse, you know, when you outboxing someone, then they say, oh, he gets no knockouts, despite the fact that Floyd moved up 5 weight classes and he was getting more knockouts than a lot of fighters when he was in the smaller weight classes. But let's just go with that. He's 5 weight classes higher. He gets no knockouts. So you say that's why I don't like him. And people love Golovkin because he gets knockouts. And then guess what? All of a sudden, we get a wave of black fighters that are getting knockouts, right? Like Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Deontay Wilder, the Charlo brothers, Andrade, and the list just goes on and on and on. Tank Davis, right? So now we got all these fighters, Jarrett Hurd, you know, we got all these fighters that are aggressive, they get knockouts, and now when they get knockouts, Errol Spence, they were saying Errol Spence was on steroids. He was cheating. He's a weight bully. Now, coincidentally, it's funny how karma is, because while they were saying that your boy Errol Spence was cheating and he's on steroids, look who tests positive for a PED test. It's Canelo Alvarez. And I BS you not, money. The same people that were making videos saying how Errol Spence is cheating, he's on this, and that was based off straight speculation. Now we have facts that Canelo tested positive for a PED. They didn't make no videos talking about that. In fact, it's the contrary.
Solid point. Solid point.
Yeah.
Very good point. Oh, yeah.
They're defending it. In fact, they're defending it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But
the WBC, the IBL, I think some of these sanctioning bodies are starting to succumb to the pressure of the new media. It's just my personal opinion. And seeing like, hey, that does make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. You know, instead of playing the old political game like we always, you know, what we've, you know, always been doing.
You're absolutely right.
It's time for a change. You know, and that could probably mess with some people's money, but these fights must happen. And if you can't hang in there, step to the side and let someone else take over.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
No shame in that.
And see, this is, absolutely. You know, I'm going to take another call, and we're about to get up out of here. We're about to get up out of here. I just wanted to really report that news on Golovkin fighting against Finalized. And, let me go and take another call. Okay, we got, I don't know, this could be a troll or it could just be anonymous, because it is anonymous, but we'll see. All right, we got, your number is showing up as anonymous. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, Dante? My name is Roger. I just called a second ago from San Diego. How's it going?
Okay. What's going on, Roger?
How's it going?
What's on your mind, family?
I called anonymous because I thought that'd give me a better chance to get back on again, you know?
Hey, I appreciate using tactics and all to sneak into the club, man. Hey, man, as long as you want to come to my club, I'm okay with it. You know, so that's what it is, man. All
right, man. I wanted to deviate a little because I feel like everyone's talking about the same thing, you know, Floyd Mayweather, GGG. I wanted to bring something up that I thought you would kind of disagree with. Let's say, hypothetically, after Matisse and Pacquiao took one more fight, and then he faced Terrence Crawford. Do you think having the best training camp, you know, that he's had in a long while, having great sparring, all that, having great tune-up matches, that he could beat Terrence Crawford?
You're saying right now, if he fought Matisse, then fought Terrence Crawford, right?
Yeah, if I said if he fought Matisse and then took on a tougher opponent that's not Crawford, and then Crawford, what do you think? I feel like we're not showing Pacquiao enough respect.
Okay, but I want to answer that question before we have that conversation. I think if he were to fight him, I still think, I mean, if it's the same Pacquiao, I still think he has a chance against Terrence Crawford, especially if they would have.
I do too.
Yeah, if they would have fought at 140. I mean, I would pick Terrence Crawford, and the reason why I would pick Terrence Crawford is because of his style. I think Terrence Crawford would have always been a problem style-wise for Manny Pacquiao. These are the type of fighters that Pacquiao usually struggles with. You know, some fighter with rhythm coordination, power. He has reach, boxing ability. You know, Freddie Roach himself, he said that he thought Terrence Crawford was a version of Floyd Mayweather, but with power. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, so I would give Pacquiao a chance, and I'm talking about at any time of Pacquiao's career. This is how I see that fight playing out. So okay, so now let's talk about this not giving Pacquiao enough credit. What do you think? We're not giving him enough credit on.
I feel as far as his chances to face, I mean, the chances that he would have against Terrence Crawford. I mean, not to call you out on it, but I think.
Well, I just proved you wrong on that because I didn't even know that's where you was headed, and I just told you before you said that, right? That I thought he actually had a chance against him.
Yeah. I mean, I had heard before you kind of alluding to the fact that he may have been intentionally ducking Crawford, which I kind of agree on. Well, that's factual.
That's factual. That's not alluding. That's not speculation. Yeah. That is factual. He turned down Bob Arum. I've talked to Bob Arum on numerous occasions. Bob Arum tried to force Pacquiao to take that fight on numerous occasions. Pacquiao turned down the fight, and he turned down the fight numerous times. So that's that's facts that he actually turned.
You're correct. You're correct. I agree. He definitely tried to duck him. And I have one more kind of deviating, man. Let's say we have an all amateur superstar like tournament. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Conlon. Who do you think comes out on top?
Okay, wait, hold on. You said Ryan Garcia, you said Shakur Stevenson,
Devin Haney.
Okay.
Michael Conlon.
You know that right there. I mean, because none of them have stepped up in competition yet. So we really don't know how they're going to really deal with adversity. But if I'm forced, I mean, it's a shot in the dark. It's like picking a horse. I would say I think Shakur Stevenson. I mean, it would be out of Shakur Stevenson and maybe I would say maybe.
Haney.
I would say Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Me personally, I haven't seen. I know Ryan Garcia is good. Ryan Garcia actually beat Devin Haney in some amateur fights. Those, it's different. Amateurs and pros is different. But I haven't even watched any of Ryan Garcia's pro fights yet. So I gotta do some of my homework when it comes to that. But like I said, we have to really see a lot of them step up. So far, Devin Haney he's went the furthest. Money, your thoughts on that question? Good question, by the way.
Okay, very good question. Now, looking at how Ryan Garcia is extremely sharp. He has the power, he has the speed, and he definitely has the reflexes. The only question is, what happens when he really steps up against someone good? But they're all right around about each other. So to me, whoever executes their game plan the best will probably win. Devin Haney does have a lot of experience. So I'm going to give him the edge. But if it was between him and Ryan Garcia, that's a 50-50 fight. Because Ryan Garcia is very good. I think Michael Conlon will probably be the first one to fall because of his style.
No doubt about it.
Only because of his style. He is a talented kid, but it's his style that's going to get him in trouble.
He's the weakest link, hands down.
Yeah. Based on styles. And the one who's probably going to be the most difficult, I mean, it's obvious, Shakur.
Yeah,
If you can't get to Shakur fast enough early, then you're probably going to lose. And you have to get to him quick. Because even though he's not as strong as everyone, his boxing ability just makes up for it big time.
Definitely.
Definitely.
He's starting.
I had one.
Go ahead.
One last question.
Okay.
It's what do you call it? Jojo Diaz versus what's his name?
Gary Russell.
Gary Russell. Who do you guys got?
I believe Gary Russell wins that fight.
Yeah, Gary. I'm going with Gary.
I think
no hesitation.
Oh yeah, no hesitation. No hesitation on that one. I mean, to me, there's certain fights that I would hesitate, on. I don't think. I think Gary Russell is the best fighter at 126. JoJo, and once again, all we trying to do is figure out, who's going to win the fight. It's nothing personal. But I believe, from some of the fights I've seen, Jojo Diaz is a really, really good fighter. But I did see him slow down against opponents that he's faced in the past where, he would look good for the first 6 rounds. And then in the middle rounds, if the guy was still there, he would kind of drain Jojo just a little bit. And Joe would start to slow down. As opposed to Gary Russell, one thing about Gary, he's been consistent for 12 rounds in every fight I've seen. He's been extremely impressive. So now I will say that those are the 2 best fighters. I do believe that JoJo and Gary Russell, those are the 2 best fighters at 126 right now. But if I'm forced to pick, I would pick Gary Russell in that fight. There's a lot of tough fights. If you were to ask me who wins out of Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, that one would be like a 50-50 fight. That would be a harder one to choose. But Gary Russell, I think. What you tell me? You give me your answer. Who do you think wins that fight?
I initially thought Gary Russell too, and I still kind of do, but I feel JoJo is kind of on the come up, so he might, maybe with the momentum he has, he might pull through. But I mean, Gary Russell is just a defense and the speed. I don't think he's dealt with that before.
Yeah, and I remember, I'll never forget when I interviewed Nacho Beristain. Nacho Beristain, I interviewed him leading up to the Gary Russell Johnny Gonzalez fight. And you know Nacho Beristain is one of the greatest Mexican trainers in the world. And this man was praising Gary Russell Jr. as if he was training Gary Russell Jr. He was praising this man a day before they fought, like 2 days before they fought at the press conference. And you could tell he did not have the confidence that Johnny Gonzalez his fighter could beat Gary Russell. He was telling me, he said it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult with Gary Russell's rhythm, his speed, and this and that. It's going to be very difficult to beat this guy.
He has it all.
Yeah. So this is, and so I agree with trainers like Nacho Beristain. Gary Russell really is that good. Only person I see beating Gary Russell right now is Lomachenko. That's the only guy, and it's unfortunate that Loma has moved up so many weight classes because we may never get to see the rematch, because the rematch would probably be a lot different. I mean, it would probably be it'll probably still be a 50-50 fight, just like the first one was. So that's how I see that, man. But hey, great questions, and thanks for calling in. Okay, man.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate you, Dante.
All right, take care, man.
Take care now.
Good stuff. Hey, Money, you see how people sometimes start off, and I appreciate dude for calling in, but you see how some people call in and they start off by saying, well, I disagree with you about this and I disagree with you about that. By the end of the conversation, you see how all of a sudden they find out they're agreeing with everything I've said. You see what I'm saying?
It happens just like good old Jorge.
Yeah, just like good old Jorge. Just like good old Jorge. Oh my goodness, boy, we're gonna have to put him on a decaf poster or something. He gonna be like that. He gonna be like that decaf Confederate flag or something. I don't know. He'll replace the stars and the cross. We'll have his name and some crosses or something like that. We got to come up with a decaf flag.
I got you. Yeah. Decaf flag. All right.
But yeah, man, that truth, man. This is why I say people don't realize there is a difference from your opinion and the truth. And when you hang around with a bunch of fans that are feeding you what you want to hear, you hear it enough, you start to believe it, even when at first you question it. But that doesn't really make sense, though. If somebody tell you, Floyd is just a runner. All he does is run. At first you're going to be like, that doesn't really make sense, though, because I've actually seen him stand in front of people. But then you hear 50, 60 people say it, and then you start to say it. And then what happens is them fans you listening to, because they will lead your ass off a cliff. And the cliff is calling up Dante's Boxing Nation and trying to use that talking point. Now you ain't got those 100, 500 friends that's been feeding you this horse manure, right? And you over here trying to
over
here trying to defend that. It's like you reading off of a paper. Oh, well, I was told that Floyd is a runner. Oh, and I was told that
I was told.
Yeah, I was told he fights all bums. Because when you really think about it, in essence, that's what they're saying. Even when they say Floyd is a runner, they're telling us I was told. They're saying I was told he's a runner. I was told he hasn't fought anyone. I was told Andre Ward is a boring fighter. I was told Al Heyman is the cancer to the sport. He's a cancer of the sport. I was told, because this is how it works.
Yeah.
This is how social media works.
Well, you know something, Dante? I would ask them, have they ever watched the movie Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
If they say yes, I will ask them, are you familiar with Jedi mind tricks? Because you were just subject to one. Several of them.
Absolutely. Hypnosis at its finest, man. Hypnosis at its finest. This is the reason why, Jim Lampley, he takes advantage of that platform. And this is the reason why Jim Lampley, he understood the position he was in. He knew how he could, feed so many fans that red meat that he was throwing at them. He understood this because when he had his first show on HBO, the first thing he talked about in the first episode, he tried to destroy Floyd Mayweather's record and resume. He said, Floyd Mayweather, everyone that he's fought, they were either too old, they were either too young, or too experienced, or they were too, they were drained, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is what he said in his first episode, because he knew he could plant the seed with having that type of platform and that many people watching him. But yet, to this day, he has never said, Gennady Golovkin, every one of these face, was either too old, too inexperienced, too small, wasn't a real middleweight, wasn't a middleweight at all,
right,
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He ain't saying nothing about Finalized. He ain't doing no specials talking about that. So he has
his favorites.
Obviously.
I mean, he is extremely biased, and it's unfortunate, but it's a hardcore truth.
It's a hardcore truth.
Are waking up to it. They're waking up to it. But when a network is behind you like that, this is what I meant to say a long time ago. I remember, and my man Roy Jones had gotten stopped by Antonio Tarver back in May 2004, right before that fight took place. Antonio Tarver had said to Jim, he said, you need to put down the pom-poms. I'll never forget when he told him that.
Who? Wait. Roy Jones or George?
Yes.
Roy Jones said that?
No. Antonio Tarver.
Oh, Antonio Tarver.
Said, and this is when, when Jim was really talking about Roy and, they're pretty good friends. And he was backing him, this, that, and the other. That's when Antonio had told him, you need to put down the pom-poms. He said, but I got you. I understand. I got you. I need to go back and find that. And when I saw that, it was said, I need to remember that. You just never know when you may need to use that again. So when someone gets behind you, facts don't matter. Emotions do. In cases like that.
Absolutely.
And so he's using his emotions. It's going off from what you're saying, just underlining what you're saying. He's using his emotions in order to get the crowd going in the direction he wants them to go.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they're seeing. Right.
It's taking advantage of your power. I mean, a lot of people do it, unfortunately. When you have some type of power, you're a cop or you're a supervisor, you basically take advantage of your power, and that's pretty much what he's been doing. That's pretty much what he's been abusing the power. That's what you're doing. He's abusing his power because a blow-by-blow announcer is supposed to be just that. All you're supposed to do is call the fight blow by blow. You go back, and me and you, Money, we talked about this before. You go back and you watch old blow by blow commentators. Left hook by Muhammad Ali. Jab by Muhammad Ali. A 1-2. He's giving this man a lashing, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just straight boxing. But when you listen to Jim Lampley call a fight, it sounds like a podcast. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a podcast.
Wow. Yeah.
He talking about, He talking about who he doesn't like and who deserves a fight, who doesn't deserve a fight, and why he don't like this guy. Sometimes when his guy is not doing well, he'll just sit and pause for a good 30 seconds without saying anything until his fighter starts landing punches again. That means this man is a fan sitting in the front of the damn arena, sitting in the front seat, sitting in the ringside seats. He's just a fan. That's what that means. That's what that implies. So
that's why a lot of people like the Showtime commentators on average much better.
Oh, of course,
because
man.
they call much of just like what we see. They call more on what they.
Ronaldo hands down is the best blow-by-blow announcer, man. The best, man. The best. All of them, the whole team. But I just, when you watch Ronaldo, I really commend that man, just him in particular. I mean, all of them do a great job, but since we're making this comparison to your boy Jim Lampley, because he's in the same position. He's a blow-by-blow announcer. Ronaldo, right, when he sees excitement, he's livid. He's like, oh, wow, look at the excitement, and et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't care who, it doesn't matter who the fighter is. They could be black. They could be white. They could be from America. They could be from the Philippines, from Mexico.
Doesn't matter.
The exact same excitement he gives for fighter A, he gives it for fighter B. And that is something that we never see with Jim Lampley. I could even say, I remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya. I will never forget this. I'm sure everyone remembers this if you really, really are deep into your boxing. Do you guys remember when Floyd Mayweather staggered Oscar De La Hoya? I think Oscar was coming in. It was around the third or the fourth round. He staggered Oscar, and Oscar kind of dropped. How their knees kind of get loose, and he did like a little bit of a drop. That's what it was. Floyd had his back against the ropes, and he was doing the shoulder roll, and and Oscar was throwing those combinations, and Floyd, he did the shoulder roll, came out and caught De La Hoya with a right hand, and it froze Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar De La Hoya, he buckled, and then he came back up. The reason why I bring this up is because I remember we were all watching this, and everybody was like, he buckled him. And Jim Lampley ignored it and didn't say anything about it. And that is my exact point. That's my exact point right there, man.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, man. So that's what it is, man. And I see I'm looking at the comments. I see hey, tell Dante to add this decaf 619. I don't know what he. Oh, that's Roger. That's the dude you called in earlier, right? You called in earlier, didn't you? Wait, is this the same dude? All right, you know what? I was gonna end it, but you know what? Let's go ahead and call this dude up, or take his call. Is he at 619? I'll go ahead and take the call. 619, what's going on? You said
what's up, Dante?
You said I'm gonna get it. Is this wait? Is this crazy?
Here we go.
I want to know what's up. I mean, we're talking good. You hang up, and then you just straight up call me a decaf. You gonna crucify me? What's going on?
Well, okay. Well, let's talk. You gotta tell me what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
Well, I'm talking about. I came here to listen to Canelo. To GGG. Taking on whatever that bum's name is, and all this turns out to be is a Floyd Mayweather kissing ass fest. All you guys do is just kiss Floyd Mayweather's ass.
Give me an example. Okay.
No. Wait up. I'm a fan too. I appreciate him, and I agree with the fact that he's.
What part was kissing ass though? Well, let's talk about the ass kissing. Let's talk about the ass kissing. What part is that? What part to you? Like, because I could tell you if exactly what a person says, and I would say that's ass kissing. If someone says it's okay for Golovkin to fight Finalized, and it's a fact. Okay, what part? What part? Tell me. What part.
I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you. It's the fact that you guys are constantly repeating it. The fact that you have one caller come in and say it, okay, I get it, and then you have another caller coming in saying the same thing, and you embrace him, and you embrace him, and you embrace the same guys each and every time.
I know, but what part? Okay. So
fact. The fact that you embrace repetition, and number two, I'm gonna say this. You're knocking GGG down, and you're saying there's racism in boxing, this and that, and he's not pound for pound, or putting him down. And I don't see you putting down Terrence Crawford, who doesn't have that much greater of a resume. And that guy, of course, he won't say anything about that because he's black.
Okay. I'm glad you said.
Goodness.
No. Okay, I'm glad you just said that. Now you bringing up so many points. I want to almost write it down because I want to touch on the ass kiss. I want to go back to that. But since you just changed it to Terrence Crawford and black people, and you compared Golovkin. Hold on. No. Let me respond to you. Because this is what I need. We need somebody like you to call in.
I just want to say I'm honest.
You are very honest.
Listen.
You very honest what you think about black people.
No,
hold on. I'm gonna respond.
I don't want you.
I want to respond. Hold on.
I don't want you to say.
Okay,
I don't
go
want
ahead.
you to say no, because I know where you're going. I know you're gonna say, okay, I mentioned facts, his record, this and that, Floyd. I know there were facts, but the fact that you kept on repeating them like this.
Let's go back to Terrence Crawford because you're jumping all over the place.
Guys.
Hold on.
All right.
Your name is Roger, right?
Let's go back.
Roger, right? Roger? Because we got to tackle one thing at a time. You're jumping all over the place. Okay, let's go. And remind me because I want to get back to the ass kiss and Mayweather thing too. But let's talk about Terrence Crawford.
All right.
Now you just said that you just compared Golovkin to Terrence Crawford. What does Terrence Crawford and Golovkin have in common?
What I'm saying is that Terrence Crawford hasn't fought the most difficult opposition either, and you are not giving him the same amount of heat. Matter of fact, you're praising him as opposed to Golovkin, who I agree hasn't had the hardest opposition either, but you're giving him a hard time.
Roger,
why is that?
Roger, let me give you facts. Yeah, exactly. Because don't talk about stuff if you don't know, and I'm gonna educate you with facts. Let's break this down.
No.
Let me answer it, Roger. No, you said why? You said I don't know. I'm gonna tell you why.
I said I was alluding to the fact that.
Roger. Let me answer your question. Let me answer your question. Terrence Crawford, he fought Victor Postal. When people said he was going to duck Victor Postal, he fought Victor Postal. Terrence Crawford, we're comparing him to Golovkin. Terrence Crawford has already moved up 3 weight classes. He fought Victor Postal. Let me finish. I'm not finished.
Top opponents.
Now he's moving up and he's fighting against Jeff Horn. This is his first fight at a higher weight class. He's fighting against Jeff Horn.
An absolute bum.
Hold on.
An absolute bum.
Okay.
An absolute bum.
Okay. If you say, once again, that's another topic we could talk about. Now he's calling out Errol Spence. So let me ask you something. If Terrence Crawford is calling out Errol Spence, he's called out Lomachenko. He's called out Mikey Garcia. He's called out Keith Thurman. And Gennady Golovkin is fighting against Finalized, who's not in the same weight class, hasn't had a fight in 2 years, coming off of a loss, when Golovkin instead could have fought his number one contender, just like equivalent to when Terrence Crawford fought Victor Postal and they said he was going to duck him. And he had other fighters like Charlo, Andrade, Darren Yevchenko, his number one contender. How is that anywhere the same compared to what Terrence Crawford is doing?
Listen, I agree with you.
You agree? You agree with me? You agree with me?
No. What I'm saying is this. I'm not defending Triple G. What I'm saying is that I don't believe you're being fair.
That wasn't my question. I didn't ask you if you were defending him.
Okay, what was your question?
My question was how do you compare Terrence Crawford's accomplishments and who he's calling out? He's calling out Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia.
Last time I checked, call-outs didn't get you on the pound-for-pound list. I haven't known a fighter that made it to pound-for-pound list by calling out.
But you said that Terrence is doing the same thing. You said Terrence is doing the same thing as Golovkin. That's what we're talking about right now, right? What do they have in common? What does Terrence Crawford have in common with Gennady Golovkin?
The record. Both of them have not fought tough opposition, or at least tough enough opposition. Yet you're still clamoring Crawford is great and all, but you're bashing Triple G.
Let me
That's
ask
what
you.
I'm saying,
Well,
man.
hey, Roger, how long have you been following the sport? Quite some time, I'm assuming.
Yes, quite some time, man.
You know, now with me being a reporter, and you said that this is because you said that because he's black. If I were to go and ask, no, hold on. Let me just say something. If I were to go to gyms with nothing but Mexican fighters, and I were to ask professional and amateur Mexican fighters and trainers right now, and Money, my man Money, who's on the phone right now, who's always around Mexican fighters, non-black, fighters, people in general. If I were to ask them, who has accomplished more, who would you rank higher, Terrence Crawford or Gennady Golovkin? Let's remove black people from the equation. What do you think they would say? Because I interviewed them, I already know what they say. What do you think they would say, Roger? Who would they pick? Golovkin or Terrence Crawford?
Listen. I don't care
answer
what
the
they
question.
Would say. I care.
No. Because you said it's a black thing. You said this is a black thing.
What you're saying.
No,
I'm calling you out.
No,
I
know. You're calling. Hold on, Roger.
Listen,
Roger.
I'm not calling local amateurs at the boxing gym.
No,
I'm calling you out.
You calling me out?
I'm calling you out.
Absolutely.
I'm calling you out.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you, Roger.
Okay.
You calling me out, and you said I'm biased.
I want to say. Do you think Crawford's record or resume is that much more better than Triple G's?
Absolutely it is.
By far.
But hold on. Once again, you said you calling me out, right? You're calling me out,
sir.
And you're saying that I am biased because I'm telling you that Terrence Crawford, his accomplishments, his reputation, it succeeds Golovkin hands down. Why, if I'm the one that's biased, then wouldn't that mean that everyone else, because you say you don't want to talk about nobody else, you say you're talking to me, this is about me. But if I am biased, I'm the only one that's biased, and everyone agrees with me except for you, who's more biased, me or you?
Man, pull up BoxRec right now, man. Terrence Crawford hasn't faced tough enough opposition, honestly.
So why does everyone have him? So why does
he beat? Who has he beat? John Molina, the guy who has 6 losses. Lundy, the guy who has 5 losses.
He beat Gamboa.
Beltran, the guy who has 6 losses. Who has he beat? Absolutely no one.
Gold medalist.
So
another one that was Olympic champion.
Indongo.
So you believe?
Somehow,
let me ask you this, Roger. You believe
Oh
you believe only black people would think that Terrence Crawford has a better resume, or he should be rated higher than Golovkin, right? That's what you believe, right?
I'm saying you and your panel.
No, you said black. You said because he's black, though. But you said it's a black thing. You said this is more about race.
I didn't say every.
But you said this is more. But you said it's more about race, though. You said this is more about race than it is his accomplishments.
I said it's you, the one that makes it.
But you mentioned black fighters. You mentioned black fighters. You said it's because he's black.
You're the one that. Listen. Don't try to generalize it.
No, you said that. You know this is recorded, right?
I said
you know this is
the one who
recorded.
does it.
You know I can replay what you said. You know I can replay what you said.
Play it back.
You know what? We gonna go ahead and do that. But while we doing that, that's gonna take a while to set up, though. That's gonna take a while to set up. But let me.
All right.
But you know what? I'll put I'll go back and put the times and all that in because it'll take too long to set up. It'll take probably about 15 minutes to set up. So you said, but let me ask you.
I said that all.
You didn't say
black people.
No. Wait. Tell me what you said.
I said if you find the clip that says that I said all black people.
No, I didn't say. I never said that.
No. Well, that's what you're saying.
This is what I'm saying.
I said you. This is called Dante's Boxing Nation. It's not called Everyone's Boxing Nation.
Well, I don't even understand what you mean when you say that.
I'm calling you out, not everyone else.
No. But but this is the thing, though. If I were to say that you were biased, and I'm only talking about you, if I were to say you're biased, I'm saying that because you were saying something that logically no one would agree with. At least the majority of people, no one would agree with. I wouldn't say you're biased on something that everyone logically believes makes all the sense in the world. If you say something that's irrational and is really odd and is something that, you know, got everybody saying, that doesn't make any sense, that's what would make you biased. But if you say, if you say that Terrence Crawford, if you say that saying that Terrence Crawford has something to do with black fighters, because that's what you said. You brought up black fighters. You said it was because he was black. You said this was about race.
Listen, absolutely. I feel that you are praising him more than Triple G because you're black.
Okay.
And I feel
I'm glad you admitted that.
Listen, I feel that him and Triple G are not too far apart in accomplishments, yet you still bash on Triple G and not Crawford.
Okay.
Why is that?
Fair enough.
Why is that?
I'm going to answer that. You know I'm a reporter, right? So I get to go out. I get to go out and I get to talk to many people of different races and nationalities. And I'm telling you, this is an actual fact. We ain't talking opinion or anything like that. Do you know 99% of non-black people I talk to, they praise Terrence Crawford more than they praise Gennady Golovkin? So you're telling me by your own logic that they're praising him because they like black people better than they like Mexican people, better than they like white people, better than they like Asian people? That's the logic you use.
What I'm saying is you're blowing him out of proportion when he hasn't accomplished much more than.
Did you just hear what I said, Roger? Did you just hear what I said? Yes. You just said to me right now. You just said to me you believe I am praising him more because he's black. So what I just said to you is if every non-black trainer, boxer, I interview.
Listen.
If they're saying the same thing I'm saying about Golovkin,
they can say he is a better fighter, but at least they won't go on and praising him and bashing someone else. You know,
they have done it already. Golovkin has bashed. Oscar De La Hoya has bashed Gennady Golovkin. Tons of people.
He will. He's facing Canelo.
But I'm talking about 2 years before a Canelo fight was even talked about. Do you want me to mention Teddy Atlas bashed Gennady Golovkin? Do you really want? Like I told you, I interview people, so I have videos. Tons of people that are not black. Do you see what you're implying? And you don't even get it. You don't even see it. What you're basically saying is there's no way a non-black person will say anything bad about that person because we support our non-black people. I never
said that. What I did is that you're blowing Crawford, Crawford out of proportion.
Hold on. Listen, go back to Oscar. I want to go back to Oscar De La Hoya. I want to go back to what you said about Oscar De La Hoya. You said, "Oh, of course he would say that." That implies that you're saying there's no way that someone who's not black is going to say something negative about Gennady Golovkin unless they have some ulterior motive. You know, they have some reason for it. And then you say, of course Oscar would say that. That's because he's going up against...
Of course he would say that because they're promoting the fight.
Yeah, and Oscar said this before they were promoting the fight. Oscar said this to me in a round table I did with him like 3 years ago. He criticized Teddy Atlas. What about Teddy Atlas? What about Teddy Atlas?
It was always there, Dante.
What about Teddy Atlas?
Teddy Atlas, the guy who put Lomachenko above Terrence Crawford.
No, I'm saying Teddy Atlas criticized Golovkin.
There's that guy once again showing the racial bias.
But I said Teddy Atlas, he criticized Golovkin. Listen to what I'm saying to you, because you said,
of course,
why did he do it? Why did he do it?
But not absolutely bash.
No. He did bash him. Wait, what would you consider bash? What would you consider bashing someone? Do you know what Teddy Atlas said?
Bash is what I've been hearing for the last hour on this channel.
Do you know what Teddy Atlas said? What do you know what Teddy Atlas said?
What did he say?
Teddy Atlas, he said that this man is not a monster. He said he needs to step up in competition, and he said a whole bunch of other personal things. I'll put the link in the description box right now, and you could go ahead and check it out. Now, but you said this whole show.
Listen. Dante, I have one. Listen, you can make one ultimate question to me. I'll make one ultimate question to you. Do you feel that you have given Triple G or any other fighter such a fair shake as you have given any other good African American fighter.
Name the fighters. Let's name the black fighters you're comparing them to.
Listen, it's
let's
like,
name
I
them.
can just hear it every time. Every time.
What fighter? But you got to give me a fighter so I can answer your question.
Okay,
give me a black fighter. Name a black fighter.
Every time. Listen. I like Floyd Mayweather.
I don't care how many black friends you got. I don't care how many black friends you got. I want you to tell me. Listen,
I said I'm a fan.
Listen, but that's the same thing. But that's the same thing as saying. That's the same thing as saying. Look, I got black friends, so I'm not racist. You don't have to give me this guilty type of. Listen,
I said I'm a fan.
Listen,
I said I'm a fan.
Compare.
I'm a fan.
This is what I want you to do.
But what I'm saying is every time they mention that name, your eyes sparkle.
Roger.
And then you go crazy. And
when you mention,
that's all she wrote.
So once again, why are Mexican people praising Floyd Mayweather more than I have praised Floyd Mayweather? Mikey Garcia said Floyd Mayweather.
Absurd. Absolutely not.
Okay,
Absolutely
let me
not.
Once again, you don't know who you're talking to, bro, because I talk to these fighters. You don't.
Okay,
I talk to these trainers.
What, 10 clips.
Let me hold
10
on.
clips, and
no,
then that means
listen.
everyone else, every other Mexican.
Just like you said, you're only talking about me. So if I can mention 1, 2, 3, 4, very significant, relevant people. Let me ask you this. If I ask Nacho Beristain, who's a Mexican trainer, trained them, Marquez brothers, Johnny Gonzalez, and other great Mexican fighters, if I were to ask him, who would you say is the greatest fighter of this generation? Or would you say is Golovkin? Would you say is Mayweather? Who would you say it is? And who do you think he would?
They could have said the greatest fighter. They could have said so many fighters. You said
so. Who do you think?
I mean, yeah,
no. I'm just saying hypothetically because I'm asking a guy who's not black. I'm asking a guy who's not black. What do you think he would say?
Greatest of what?
This generation. Let's say this generation, just for this conversation. What do you think he would say? This is a hypothetical question. He's Mexican. He's not black.
Listen, I will be very honest, and he will say Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, so you believe that his eyes are just sparkling, and he just.
That's what I don't believe. Wait.
Why is it only with me? Why is it only with me then? And not with him.
Because I hear it, because I see it on your man. It's day and night.
But Nacho is not doing a show day and night. But Nacho is not doing a show, so you can't compare.
Even when he's had the chance to be exposed, he doesn't show that. He doesn't react the same way you do.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, because when you say stuff like it seems like you like that guy too much. You know how that sounds, right? When you say. When you try to make it seem like that's a negative, that you like this guy too much, and coincidentally, the guy we're talking about is the guy. Hold on, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. The guy that we're saying we like too much is universally recognized as the best fighter of this generation. That's hands down. So my question is, do you ever see someone saying, if let's just say if Golovkin, let's say hypothetically Golovkin, he knocked out Andre Ward, then he knocked out Charlo, then he knocked out Andre, then he knocked out all these guys, retired, and he was considered pound for pound the best fighter of this generation, not just today. They gave him number one. This was his era, right? He retired, walked off into the sunset, right? And on this show, I was telling you guys, well, you cannot compare what this fighter did to Golovkin, because Golovkin knocked out Andre Ward. He knocked out Charlo. He knocked out Andre. He knocked out that. And then I know you're absolutely right. No, I know you're right. Let me understand where I'm going though. Do you think anybody will call in? Do you think someone like you will call in and say, "Look it, man, why you talk like you like Golovkin so much? I mean, I see your eyes sparkle when you talk about this. You love this guy." Do you think anybody would say that?
On my behalf, I can tell you on my behalf, I would.
You've sent messages on YouTube or Instagram where someone was praising Canelo too much, or someone was praising Golovkin too much. Someone was praising Lomachenko too much.
Absolutely. I don't care who it is. If he gets too much.
Where? Where? On Instagram? You posted the messages?
Absolutely. I comment all the time.
And you told people that you like him too much. You said you like that Lomachenko too much. You guys talk too much about him. Your eyes are sparkling when you talk about Lomachenko. You said that before?
Listen, Dante,
So
I
the
know what
answer
you're
is no.
implying, that
You didn't
because
answer the
he's black,
question.
that because he's
You
black,
didn't answer
that
the
because
question.
he's black, that's why I'm calling in. I don't care. I
You
still
didn't
would've
answer the
called in if
question.
you would've been
So that
praising-
means no, you
if
have
you would've
never
been
done
praising,
that.
If you would have been praising Triple G, I would have called in. If you would have been praising Canelo, I
You've
would've
never
called
done
in.
it.
It's a fact
You've
that you're
never
praising
done it.
someone.
You've never done it. When
You're
you called in,
assuming.
you no.
You're assuming.
It's a
You're
fact.
assuming.
It's a you have done
assuming.
it. You have done it.
You're assuming.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. If I'm assuming you called in and you told me that I was praising Lomachenko too much, or I was praising or a fighter who's not black, I'm giving him too much credit. You've done that before? Have you
given other fighters enough credit as you given Floyd?
Why would I give anybody as much credit?
Why would I give?
Listen. Think of it.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
listen.
What?
Why would I give? Why would I give? Listen to me. Why would I give anyone as much credit as a guy that is ranked number one, the best fighter of this generation? Who could I give that credit to?
Enough credit.
Who could I give that credit to?
Enough credit, Dante.
Who could I give that credit? No, you said the same credit as Floyd. You messing your argument.
I'm being fair. You know what I mean, Dante.
Yeah, no. Don't tell me what you mean. I'm going off of what you said. Listen. You messing up your argument when you compare him to Floyd. That's what's making you contradict yourself. Because you could have compared. You could have compared. It would have been easier for you.
I had asked you a question. Like a couple of minutes before you deviated, I asked you, do you feel that you have been? I basically said, do you feel that you have given every fighter here, the same respect, the same attention, the same hype, and you deviated from that? I didn't get a fair answer from that.
You didn't get a fair answer? I told you that I'm not going to get.
I'm saying yes or no.
Listen,
I'm saying yes or no.
Listen,
I'm saying yes or no.
Roger. Let's
it's a
go.
yes or no question, Dante.
No.
It's
The
yes
question.
or no question.
No. Let's go back to your original question so we can answer it.
I'm not getting a yes.
No. Listen to me. Roger, stop cutting me off.
I'm not getting a yes.
Roger, stop cutting me off,
I'm not
Roger.
getting a yes or no answer, Dante.
Roger.
Dante.
Okay,
go
ahead.
Yes or no answer.
Go ahead, Roger. I'm going to let you talk and then you let me talk. Because we got to start letting each other talk. So I'm going to let you talk. Go ahead.
It was just a question. I already asked it to you. This is the second time I asked it to you, and you don't give me a yes or no question.
Are you going to let me talk now?
Are you going to answer my question?
What is your exact? Because your first question you said, do you give credit? The credit you take away from Golovkin. You compare Golovkin to other black fighters? That's what you said earlier. That's what you said earlier.
See, I'm not getting that answer, man.
All right, go ahead and ask your question, Roger. Go ahead and answer your question, Roger.
I'm going to ask you once more. Do you feel that you have given, let's say, the African-American fighters, Crawford, Floyd Mayweather, all your idols, that you have given Triple G and any other fighter the same fair shake, the same great coverage, the same hype, the same respect? Do you feel that you have given them that same credit where it's due?
100%, absolutely. You get what you put in. You get what you put in. Now, when you ask the question, Roger, I answered your question. Now it's your job to explain to me why I didn't. And I want you to name me fighters. Let's compare Golovkin to a particular black fighter. So now it's your chance to show how I did not give this non-black fighter the credit that I gave this black fighter. So go ahead and name me the fighter. Let's stick with one fighter at a time. Compare Golovkin to another black fighter. Which black fighter?
Okay, so we're not going to run down on which one has greater accomplishment.
Because Terrence Crawford, you already agreed with me when you brought up Terrence Crawford, that Terrence Crawford...
Here we go.
Go ahead.
I said that he is not superb enough for you to give him that much praise and give Triple G that much of a hard time.
Okay, so once again, and something else you said your idols. Once again, when you say your idols, you're making it seem like when it comes to Terrence Crawford. Matter of fact, name my idols. Name my idols. Name my idols.
Oh, okay.
They telling me to hang up. No, they telling me to hang up on you. No, I'm not gonna hang up on him because, like I said, I like to talk.
We gonna get this work.
I like to talk to cats, to decafs just like this, because I get to talk to all of them through this one man right here. So this is fun. We're not gonna hang up.
Get this work, Dante.
Yeah.
Dante, you getting this work?
Absolutely. I'm glad to get the work. I'm glad to get the work. So name my idols. I want you to name my idols.
You listen, Dante. You name your idols.
No, you just told me all your idols. Who are my idols?
Your idols,
you brought this up.
Your idols are Terrence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward. Guys that I'm like I said, I'm honest. They deserve respect, but they don't. Come on,
okay, so those are my idols.
Blow them out of proportion.
Okay, hold on.
Listen.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you go, and then you let me talk. I'm gonna let you talk because I'm only going to respond to the first thing you said. I'm only going to respond to the first thing you said. But go ahead.
No, respond to this too. That's the main deal. I'm honest, I'm fair. They're the greats. You can say Floyd Mayweather is the greatest of this era. I agree with you. What I don't agree is that I feel like you mention them too much. You give them too much praise. And that's just what I feel, Dante.
Okay, no.
I don't know. I feel you can tone it down a notch sometimes as far as that. But I do respect them, and they are superior fighters. I'm honest on that.
Yeah, because you realize after you mention those names, you mentioned after you realize after you mentioned those names.
I've always known that. I'm not saying they're not great. I never said that. I'm saying you praise them too much.
I know,
they're great, but you're praising them too much.
But do you praise?
I've always agreed they're greats and they're pound for pound.
Roger, what fighters do you praise above the names you just mentioned right now? Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford. Let's throw Errol Spence up in there. What fighters do you praise?
Praise and respect. Praise and respect. I mean, earlier on I had mentioned Jojo Diaz, and I agree that Russell would win, but I didn't see any love or any sort of respect for Jojo Diaz. You know, I didn't even get any feedback.
But listen to what you just said.
Listen, I want you to go back there, find that clip, and try to find at least one positive comment that you had made on Jojo Diaz.
One positive comment you talking about on today's? Have you listened to my other shows before?
No. I'm saying the question I made you on this same cast a couple of minutes. I don't know.
Like what? Like what? Like give me an example. Coach me right now. Give me an example. If I'm asking you advice, I call up Roger.
Okay.
I say, Roger, what do you think I should have said about JoJo?
When you asked me who I thought I would win, I was honest. I said, listen, I believe Russell's going to win. He has the speed, but I said, but I feel JoJo's on the come up. He has momentum. He's solid. I didn't hear that from you. I only heard one side of the spectrum.
Okay, got you. Got you.
Going to blow him away.
Got you. So you're telling me that when I make a prediction, I should say something about the guy who I think is going to lose. But you do know, if you've been watching a lot of my shows, when I make predictions, no matter who the prediction is on, a lot of times I just tell you I think so-and-so is going to win. And I tell you why I think so-and-so is going to win. So you would agree that's not biased. You would agree that's not dissing. That's not dissing Joe. That's not dissing Joe, right? If I tell you, just like you said a minute ago, I believe Gary Russell.
You're not showing the same amount of love or respect. I feel
the same type of. But wait, if we believe he's going to lose, and there's been two black fighters that fight where I say I believe this guy's going to win. I don't have to show respect to the guy who I think is going to lose. I'm just telling, we're here to talk about boxing. We're not here to make you feel better. That's not what this is about. This is not here to make, we're not here.
I don't feel everyone gets the same coverage and the same.
Listen, Roger. And let me say this, Roger. When you're speaking the truth, there is no such thing as balance. There's no such thing. Like I said, if you're a better singer than me, you know what I'm saying? There is no such thing as you're a better singer than me, but at the same time, especially if I'm a horrible singer and you're a really good singer, there's no way we can really balance that out. The facts are the facts. You're a better singer than I am.
No.
Right? You're a better chef than I am.
You don't have to bash. You don't have to bash the guy.
Bash in what way? Bash. Who did I bash?
I personally felt like you guys were giving Triple G a hell of a hard time a while ago. And like I said, I don't defend him specifically. But I noticed that when any other fighter makes an error, you don't blow it out of proportion as much.
Okay, because once again, remember, you're making this as if this is me, and you brought up race. You brought up race. So let's just make that clear. Dan Rafael, you know what he called the Golovkin versus Finalized fight? He called it raw sewage. And that's Golovkin's biggest ally. So was he bashing Golovkin? And he's not black. So was he bashing Golovkin?
No, listen, I agree with you, but when I come on, I agree with you that
you're starting to agree with almost everything that I say. I'm starting to wonder what we disagree in. I'm starting to wonder what we disagree
in is the fact that you blow some fighters out of proportion and you don't give others the same amount of respect.
Yeah, but once again, I just told you, Dan Rafael said the same thing I said.
Yeah,
Nacho Barrett.
Nacho didn't spend the last hour and a half talking to.
He's not on a podcast. He's not on a podcast. He's not on a podcast.
The same guy and bashing the same, and this happens all the time, don't it?
Of course, it happens all the time. It's a boxing show, and you got people who call in and they're going to talk about what they want to talk about. Dan Rafael doesn't have a podcast, so of course he's not talking about this right now. But if people like you called in and you brought up,
you're just going to continuously bash and bash and bash. That's what you're saying.
Bash? Who did I bash? You said I bashed Golovkin, right?
Yes, sir.
So do you believe Dan Rafael bashed Golovkin when he tweeted out hashtag raw sewage? And HBO and HBO, they should be.
Yes, sir, I do.
So
yes, sir, I do.
Okay, so that means you're in the minority then. Because everyone is saying the same thing about Gennady Golovkin except for you.
No. I'm saying you guys are rightfully so bashing him.
If we're right, what's the problem?
Rightfully so, but
why is this guy here?
Why do you have to blow it out of proportion?
Okay,
he goes opposite field and he comes right back in line with you again.
If you agreeing with everything we saying, bro, you agreeing with everything we saying.
Why do you have to blow it out of proportion?
It's okay.
It's not being blown out of proportion.
Hey, Roger.
It's being spoken like how it is.
It's the truth.
He's not taking challenges that are being offered to him. Now you have the WBC right behind the IBF when it comes to Triple G. I want you to really listen close to this, okay? He's about to lose the IBF belt. I don't know if you had heard the show earlier when I was speaking on that. Now, the IBF belt just counted gone because the IBF says, if you take that fight, we're stripping you of that belt. Is the IBF bashing him by that action? Okay, now we have the WBC that's going to be decided here next weekend on the 28th. So the winner of the WBC interim belt, be it either Centineo or Charlo, will be the mandatory for Triple G. And it's going to happen sometime later on down this year when that announcement's going to come out.
It has to happen. It needs to happen.
Right. So now he has a whole bunch of these wars on fronts. The pressure's coming down. There's no escape. There's no bashing. This is business. Mm-hmm. Do you understand that?
And facts.
This is business of boxing.
And facts.
Period.
Hey, Roger.
Yes.
I seriously, like I said, this is all just boxing talk, man. So none of this is personal, man. So
it's not personal.
I know.
And obviously, you watching my show, so you a fan, which I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you watching, man. But hey, good conversation. You see the love I'm showing you. I kept you on longer than every other caller, man. So, hey, have a good one.
Right,
and call in anytime, all right?
We got that work in.
We got the work in.
Oh, yeah.
Take care, Roger. Take care. Take care, man. All right, man.
Take care, Roger.
All right, later, man. Is that it? That was 619, right? Okay. Was that? Okay.
Hey, just like the rest of us, 619, huh? Well, he does the 619 move. That's right.
I knew it was a wrap when you said, "Hey, man, let's get this guy off of here." I knew when Money said that, I said, "Okay, it's time to wrap it up," because Money don't even say that. I said it's time.
He when he kept agreeing with you, he go away, then come back.
And this is what they always do. They agree. Agree. And it's so easy. The pattern is always the same when decafs call in. The response, when you hit them with tough questions, it's either going to be, I don't know, or I agree. And then it's always like that. I don't know. I agree. Oh, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm agreeing with you, but but you just say it too many times. So his problem was we were telling the truth, but we said the truth too many times. That's what he said at the end of the conversation. He said, you guys just say it too much, though. Like, if I tell you it's going to rain because I didn't check the forecast on Saturday, and you're like, yeah, okay, I know it's going to rain, but why you have to tell me twice? You know what I'm saying? Why do you have to go into detail on the rain? Now you just bashing the sunshine and the cats that love sunshine. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Yeah, why you got to go all into detail with the rain? Why you got to tell me how long it's going to rain? And,
you're telling me something I don't want to hear.
Something I don't want to hear. Why do you thank you. Why do you have to tell me bad news? Because it's the news, idiot. You know what I'm saying? That's like calling up a news company and say, hey, guys, can you please stop reporting on so many crimes and murders? Can you guys just talk about good stuff? Can you talk about, that new casino they're building out here in Las Vegas? Do we always have to hear about murder and crime? You guys are so biased because that's all you want to talk about. Every story after story. This guy got killed. This man killed his wife. This little kid didn't go to school. This man shot up 50 people. You know what I'm saying? It is the news. The news does not report. The news does not report the stories you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? It does not work that way. You do not go to McDonald's and ask them if they can stop selling Big Macs and please sell tacos. It don't work that way. It does not work that way. Hey, Money, goddamn.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right.
Good looking.
But he can't get away from it. Look, he was okay. He was flying past. He was trying to fly out of a black hole when he was in there with you. I just put it on mute for the moment, and I'm like, this guy's slowly but surely getting pulled into that black hole. There's no escape.
Yeah.
Can't get away from it.
Yeah, man. You couldn't get away from it. Hold on before we get out of here. Let's get some callers' reactions to this, Money. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, I got my regular calling in. My man out here in Las Vegas. What's going on, Reggie?
Man, what's happening, Nation, man? I'm loving it, man. I love the schooling of these decals. I love today's show. I love last night's show, how y'all schooled. Man, but this decaf nation is on some real brain dead type shit. I was tripping because even before I listened to this show, I was watching Boxing Ego go live, and there was a decaf on his stream that was donating money to tell him how he wasn't worth shit and he's biased and this and that. This guy done
donating money just to do that.
Yeah, paying.
Wow.
Just
to say that.
Yeah.
$10 each time he wants to leave a message. Like, how? I don't get these foods.
Like going to McDonald's talking about how their food is horrible, but you go and eat over there every damn day. This nasty ass Big
Mac. Number 3.
Yeah, give me that damn number 3 with extra Big Mac sauce. Mother nasty ass food over here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's oxymoron type stuff, man. It's so reverse.
Right. And it's straight off the test tubes of HBO, man. These HBO test tube babies.
Thank you. That's exactly what it is, man. So, hey, hold on, Reggie. I want to get to another call. Let me see here.
All righty.
We got 817. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Dan? This is Dan. I called last night, Dante.
Okay, what's going on, Dan?
Hey, I got a quick question for you because there are conflicting reports out in the media. Lance Pugmire of the Los Angeles Times and Bad Left Hook both reported that somehow the IBF has decided not to strip Golovkin, but they won't sanction the fight. But other sources have said that he could be stripped. Lou DiBella has been conspicuously absent on Twitter, and he's been fired up about his issue getting his fighter a title shot. I tried to reach out to Daryl Peoples and call him. Of course, he ducked my phone call. He wouldn't respond. I know you've had him on the show numerous times. I was wondering if you could get him on and figure out what's going on, because it looks like this whole thing looks like Triple G was allowed to duck his mandatory, and then Deborah Chico is going to have to wait past September. He's going to have to wait. And Triple G last defended this IBF title 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So this whole thing looks like it's going to be a runaround, and the IBF, which usually is the best of all the boxing organizations, looks like they took a payoff. Can you please, and I'll get off the phone after this, can you please get Daryl Peoples on the phone, because I know you're really good about interviewing people, and really wring his neck and find out what's going on. Thanks, Tate.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Great stuff. I would like to get the president of the IBF on the show. I interviewed him before with the Kell Brook situation. He brought clarity to that situation when Kell Brook did not want to fight against Errol Spence. Money, this doesn't really surprise me. I thought this was going to happen when we had Lou. You remember when we had Lou on the show? And this goes back to when he was talking about if Canelo is exonerated. And that's why I wish that I would have kind of explained to Lou, because I don't think Lou understood my question when I asked him that. What I was trying to get to, what I was asking him is, are you going to allow Golovkin to go beyond September or to September without being stripped? And he kept saying, if Canelo is exonerated, then
right,
we'll just take another fight. So he was saying he would be okay with Golovkin going to September and Sergey getting a possible fight after September. And that's what I was saying. Remember I said that to you, Money, after he got off the phone? I said that wouldn't be right.
That's right.
So when
that wouldn't be right.
So what it's starting to sound like to me with that caller, it's starting to sound to me like Tom Loeffler, he made some type of deal with Lou DiBella and Sergey to basically allow him to keep the belt until he fights Canelo in September. And that sounds like that's what's going on right now. It sounds like just like he said, it makes sense. They're not going to sanction the fight, but they're not going to suspend him. That doesn't make any. They're not going to strip him of the belt. What's your thoughts on that situation, Money?
Oh, well, they're going to create a logjam. Okay, fine. You can go with that scenario if you want to, but what about that WBC? That's floating out there. So something's going to have to happen. You're either going to face, after you fight Canelo, you're either going to face, let's say, Sergey, or you're going to face the winner of the WBC. You're going to, which I'm going with Charlo. So it's like, okay, take your pick. How are you going to do this?
Yeah.
It's going to cause a major problem.
Yeah.
Major problem. He'd be better off fighting for the IBF right now. He'd be better off doing that.
It makes all the sense in the world. Just like, Lou said it on the show. Lou said, because I said, in a sarcastic way, Golovkin, he said that he wants to, his dream was always to unify all of the belts. Lou cut me off and said if that's what he wanted to do, he would have fought Sergey right now so he could secure keeping his belts. So he said, Lou basically implied that's not what he wants to do. He doesn't care about unifying the belts. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I mean, the situation.
It goes, something, it goes back to like what I was saying earlier. And I believe this wholeheartedly, since that was backdated, and it just makes all the sense in the world. Get to the finish line with Canelo. Get paid. Probably end up being like a 50-50 split maybe, or 60-40. Get paid. Get out of there, much like you said later on, before you have to deal with that mess.
Before you have to deal with that mess. And that's exactly...
Yes, because he's going to be stripped of these belts between September and May. He will lose 2 belts. He will lose 2 of them if he does not face his mandatories if he wins against Canelo.
But the problem, Money, is unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I think I don't think they're going to do that. I think he's going to. I don't think the WBC is going to strip him. I mean, the WBC they already said. What did they say? The WBC had already said that whatchamacallit had to wait. They said that what's his name? I'm over here multitasking, doing some stuff, but they said that Charlo has to wait. Charlo has to wait for that opportunity to fight him next. They said they want Charlo to wait until Golovkin fights against Canelo. So they already put him on the waiting list. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I don't think that the WBC is going to do what they should do, and that's of course strip that boy. I don't think they're going to do it. You know, so it's once again it's unfortunate.
There's a lot of collusion within boxing.
Oh, no doubt about it. Major.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Major collusion.
And it is extremely unfortunate. But the right thing to do right now is to say, since you went and took that fight, when we told you not to, for the IBF that is, since you did that deal anyway, you take that fight. If you don't pull out, we will strip you. That's the right thing to do. But if someone's getting paid, but you know something, that's just going to create a logjam.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the WBC can hold off. Hey, that's fine. But eventually, it's going to have to answer that call. And it may end up back-to-back type of situation. It's just speculation. I mean, it's just because anything can change. But the road is too hard for Triple T right now. It's too hard.
It's too hard. It's too hard. And just, I mean, Reggie, you nailed it, man, when you said it's too much collusion going on, man. I mean, it's too much collusion.
Yeah,
too much collusion
true.
in politics going on right now. I mean, you know, Trump got the Russia probe, and right now Golovkin, he got these mandatory probes going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And hey, let me.
Good way to put it. Very good way to put it.
Yeah.
Everything today was about collusion, like how the Nevada decision where they act like they would do something, and I think that was just a public hush tactic where they
did nothing.
Something was going to go down.
They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing.
In bed together.
What is the purpose of suspending? What's the purpose of saying he's suspended for 6 months when it doesn't affect his next fight? What's the purpose?
Right.
It makes no sense at all. You know, it ain't like he going to jail or nothing. Nothing is restricted. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is restricted. He still trains the same way he would have trained before. Like I said, they backdated the suspension. He was suspended March 23rd. They backdated the suspension to February 17th when Canelo first tested positive for that PED test, so that he could be ready to fight September 15th. This shit is not a coincidence, man.
And he didn't get penalized today.
And he didn't get fined. They didn't charge him a fine. Remember, Roger Mayweather, he had to pay a fine, and he was suspended for, I believe, a year. You know what I mean?
For the Zab Judah thing.
Yeah, right? For the Zab Judah thing. He paid a fine. Let me introduce some of the lieutenants, the DBN lieutenants, showing that love in the super chat section, donating. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to my man Christopher Smith. He said, what is that? He said Jiren should have won the Universal Survival Tournament. I'd rather be erased than allow Triple G versus Vinas to happen. And then you got Blue Blood Sports TV. What's that? Shout out to my man Blue Blood Sports TV. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He said they said Floyd would never fight a risky black fighter like Mosley. Hashtag DBN all day. And he called out fighters like Joel Casamayor, who was a beast at the time. Shout out to my man Johnny Player. He said, let me see. Yeah, okay. He said, Dante, you have a powerful voice in boxing. Help us hold these sanctioning bodies responsible for bringing us real fights. All day. That's what we're trying to do, Johnny. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that. Yes. And my man Anthony Allen said new media. My man, what's that, Hornay? What's that, Horn? Is that Horn Jr.? I think it's Horn Jr. He said, this is for how patient you've been with him, Dante. Talking about the decaf we had on the hook that we had in that skillet in deep grease, you know. Yeah, my man Black Rob, what's going on? Hashtag new media shouts out from New Zealand. And my man Mike Biggs boxing. I need that wrench to punk work. Oh, he said to put that work in. Yeah, man, I might have to go ahead and give it to you, man. You know, I made a mistake a while ago and gave the wrench to the wrong person, and then he was in there, you know, like a corrupt cop. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta be careful with who I put up in there. Yeah, man. Anyway, so that's what it is, man. So Let me see. I think I'm gonna take.
I had a quick.
Go ahead, Reggie.
I had a quick question with the because there's been such a and it's a shame with the where boxing was in this almost dead state with the UFC making these attacks and growing as a sport. Now boxing's on the rise, and then here we have where the sport is starting to peak, and we have fighters, promoter, and these sanctioning bodies that is ruining the progress of the sport. Like the boxing hasn't even hit halfway to its maximum capacity, and these dudes are effing up the sport because they're tying it up with money. My question is, what governs these sanctioning bodies, and can the people that run them be replaced, or how do you remove these folks, or is that an impossible thing?
Man, no, they can definitely be replaced, but we need more numbers. We need more voices. We need, more people to step up. To be honest, I truly believe, word of mouth is extremely powerful. And when you got people like ESPN, when you have other people that have voices that are heard, they can make change. Because once again, the fact that this fight didn't happen on May 5th is not going to happen. Golovkin versus Canelo. That just goes to show you how powerful, people are when they come out and just speak the truth. That's how we got, that right there to happen. So, I mean, more people just need to come out and they need to do the right thing. We need people like ESPN to continue to send HBO tweets, calling it raw sewage and all that kind of stuff. We need new media. We need to keep pushing. And what's funny, what you're saying is if you let the decaf who called in earlier, let him tell it, he's saying we should suppress the message. We should stop pushing for this. That's what he was saying. He's saying we doing it too much. He's saying, man, yeah, I see you guys protesting, but you guys protest too much. Can you just protest once a month? You know what I'm saying? Can you do it once a year? Don't do it so much. You know what I'm saying? That was what he was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's exactly.
Everybody do it on the
like
on the 30 seconds.
Yeah, like your boy what's his name? The football player. God damn, I just forgot his name. The boy
Kaepernick.
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 Like them telling Colin Kaepernick, can you kneel on your own time where no one sees it? Can you please do that? Just kneel where no one sees it at all. Can you just do that in the bathroom with the light off? You know what I'm saying? Don't do it to where everyone sees it, because that might create attention and that might change the way things are actually done, right? And that's exactly what that decaf was saying. That's exactly what we have to avoid. We have to keep the pressure on their neck. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only weapon racist people and whoever, and not even just them, but just people, who are, colluding with people just for their own best interests or whatever. The only way, they can stop us from changing things is to try to suppress the message, tell us to shut up. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Now that ain't gonna happen. That's what separates. That's right. That's what separates me. That's what separates new media from all the other people, because they was able to shut up a lot of other people, but they never shut us up. We were consistent since day one. You even had a lot of black people who were talking about this stuff years ago, but they got tired of getting called N-words and monkeys, and then they started to just go ahead and go with their talking points. And they said, forget this, y'all. I ain't getting dog sick on me no more. I ain't walking to work no more. I'm getting on this bus regardless if I got to sit on the damn back. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Go ahead.
I think these fighters need to be more vocal about it, man. This is your careers that you're doing around with the livelihood for your families, because there's so much money in it. And here we see these people are tangling the hell up off this sport and off this cash. It's individual sport. And be intelligent when you speak out about it, but you guys have to have a voice, man. It can't just be the fans speaking out. Like,
those are facts. Those are 100% facts. And we've seen, once again, man, we've seen, our message reverberate. I mean, we've seen it resonate. We've seen so many people start to take the message, run with it. You got Deontay Wilder now talking about the double standards, the heavyweight champion of the world. he's using the same message we're using. And those are the type of boxers we need to come out and talk about this stuff, expose this type of stuff, So here, let me go ahead and we're almost about to get up out of here, but let me see. I'm
going to jump back in the comment section and listen to the show.
Go ahead, Red.
Keep doing what y'all doing, man. I salute y'all, man.
Thanks, Red. Appreciate it, man. Let me
Thanks
go
a lot.
Let me go ahead and shout out another one of the lieutenants. My man Askia. What's that? Hushar or Husiar? I don't know. I probably destroyed your last name, but I appreciate it, family. He said Triple G fighting, making 147 and 154 pounders come up to him. Ain't no better than Canelo making his imaginary weight at 155. Excellent point, man. My man Askia. Where are you from, Askia? Sound like you from far away, man. Rep your country if you from somewhere else, man. That's what's up, man. Shout out to ashkicking.com. Ashkicking.com, one of my sponsors, man. I appreciate you, family. Up in the comment section. He's talking to the cats in the comment section right now. That's what it is, man. Make sure y'all go to that dope website. Yes, sir. But yeah, Money. Anything else you got on that, Money?
Not too much, really. I mean, except the decaf did say something that was interesting, about repetition. And like you had said that. And people have to not fall into that trap of not doing that. Because if you just say something one time, it's like a shot in the dark. That's it. You heard it. That's it. It's all forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can't do that. Just can't do it.
And you're right.
Yeah.
I like how you put that.
And yeah, it's seriously, because I remember in my much more humbler days, I would say something to someone, they'd nod, they acknowledge, but nothing would happen. It wasn't until I turned more like into my mom, a person that wasn't afraid to really speak out and to have my voice heard. That's when things started happening for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People still need to do what they're doing right now, what you're doing, Boxing Eagle, many others. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Very proud. Yeah. Very proud of you.
Yeah, thank you, man. We're doing it together, and it ain't nothing but the truth. And like I said, once again,
most definitely.
Did my man Asika, did he? Chicago. You out in Chi-Town? Okay, man. Yeah. But anyway, once again, man, this is the reason why you have fans say stuff like this. Oh, but you talk about it too much. You ever heard that saying, no justice, no peace? No justice, no
That's
silence.
Right.
No justice, no silence. Okay? We will not shut up. You ain't gonna never get me to shut up. You know what I mean? You can beg me to shut up, but that's the reason why you want me to shut up. Because you do not want that message to get out. Because you know that it's true at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the mafia. When they know that somebody is about to testify, they know he's about to speak the truth. They know he's going to tell the truth. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to shut him up.
Shut him up.
They're going to try to shut him up. They're not going to walk up to the dude who's about to testify and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know, actually, that's not the truth, what happened. And because, look, I got proof that, I'm not the one that did this and blah. They're not going to say that because they know they did it. They know they're guilty. So all they're going to do is try to suppress the message. And that's what the decaf who called in earlier, that's what he kept saying. Why do you guys keep saying it? Repetition. You know what I'm saying? Why do you guys keep saying it? Because fighters are still not getting treated the way they should be getting treated. And there's still double standards in the sport. There's still politics. We still got to deal with Golovkin fighting Finalized. This suggests that the people that are putting these fights together don't even care about the fans. Something else I want to say, Money, you notice all this crap that's going on, none of it has anything to do with Al Heyman. You notice that? None of it has anything to do with
None of it at all.
Al Heyman putting on the best fights, affordable tickets, a lot of the fights on free TV, and everything is gelling over there. We got this triple header this weekend where every fight on the card is lit. Every card on the fight is lit, right? Tank Davis versus Cuellar, that's a main event type fight. Charlo versus Centino is a main event type fight. And then you got Broner versus Jesse Vargas. Three main event type fights on one card. We just got Deontay Wilder versus King Kong Ortiz. So it ain't no problems on that side. But they told us 2 years ago that Al Heyman was going to bring the sport down. They said he was going to bring the sport down.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, oh, man, full circle, I tell you, boy.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Al.
Oh, thank you, Al Heyman, big time, man. Continue, because what Al is doing, he is looking out for the fans. He looking out for the fans. He got Broner in there fighting the best. Centino against Charlo, all of these dudes. Wilder, you know what I'm saying? It was Floyd Mayweather said it was Al Heyman. Al Heyman came to Floyd Mayweather. This is what Floyd said. Al Heyman came to him and said, "What can I do for you, Floyd? You just tell me what you want me to do for you." And Floyd said, "Make the Manny Pacquiao fight." That's what Floyd Mayweather said. Al Heyman made the Manny Pacquiao fight. And not only did he make the fight, but Floyd Mayweather was the main promoter on the card. He was the main promoter on that fight. So not only did he get the fight, but he promoted the fight, him and Al Heyman. So, yeah, man, what's going, and you look at what's going on with Golden Boy. You look at what's going on with even Top Rank right now. And these are the ones that tried to sue Al Heyman. They tried to sue Al Heyman.
I feel maybe Golden Boy may survive before they have some serious internal problems, I think, with finances. And I think in about another 2, maybe 3 years max, they may implode just like a neutron star.
Oh yeah.
Well, like a star just imploding, and it's not going to be good. It won't be good at all.
No, it won't be. It won't be good at all, man. It will not be good at all, man. So yeah. With that being said, man, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, man. Another overtime show. We damn near went into triple OT, you know. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Money, man, I want to say thanks once again for joining the panel, man. And I'll see you on Sunday when we do the actual Sunday show, man. So, all right, Money. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. And I want to say, as always, man, I appreciate everyone tuning in. We had a great, fantastic show. Make sure you guys tune in to this Sunday's radio show. If y'all thought this was lit, this ain't nothing right here. This was just a live show. The radio show is gonna go down like a damn plane crash, okay? It's going down this Sunday. Y'all don't want to miss that one. Whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? Call off work, whatever you got to do. It's going down this Sunday. The radio show, because we're gonna be doing that radio show right after the Broner Vargas fight. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. We're gonna have special guests. You never know who's showing up, who's popping up in the studio, who's calling in. You know, of course, you guys can call in, join the show, right? We always have a full panel, so it's gonna be a hell of an event. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get your barbecue going on and sit right next to your laptop or your phone and watch that good-ass show on Sunday, Dante's Boxing Nation Radio. So y'all already know what it is. Make sure y'all go cop this Fresh Fly gear you always see me rocking over here. Go to Dante's Boxing Nation at Gmail, and I'll go ahead and have you suited and booted, especially for when you go into them live fights. You definitely want to put on that Fresh Fly gear when you go into them live fights, man. Go ahead and just email me, and email me with your size, the color you want. We got all different colors, man. Matter of fact, let me throw that up on the screen real quick. I'll throw that up on the screen real quick just to give y'all an idea. If I still have it over here, let me see if I still have it right here. Where them damn shirts go? Looking for my shirts. I want to show y'all some of these shirts that I got. This is just a couple of them right here. I got them in all color, man. You see that Fresh Fly shining, blinging, that gold right there. You got the Oakland A color DBN. You got the Nebraska Terrence Crawford colors, all red and white. You got the Sacktown, Sack Kings, gold, white, and blue. And you got that all black with the white logo, man. I got some more too. Here, hold on. Where them other ones at? Yeah, I just want to show y'all some of these shirts before I get up out of here. Where them other shirts at? Let me see here. So yeah, man. So if y'all want to cop them, man, once again, just go ahead and go to Dante's Boxing Nation at gmail.com. Where the hell did they go? I got too much shit on here on this computer. Yeah, but anyway, let me see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I want to show y'all some more of these shirts if I can find them. Once again, man, make sure you guys tune in to the show this Sunday. Once again, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. And we going to get it in just like that. So anyway. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this one up, man. You guys, at the end of the day, y'all know what it is. Shout out to my sponsor, ashkicking.com. Check out that website. At the end of the day, all you got to do is hashtag Dante's Boxing Nation, hashtag DBN, hashtag New Media, hashtag Decaf Busters, Dante's Muscle Nation, Dante's Cooking Nation, Dante's News Nation. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the nation. Yep. And there's some of those other shirts I was looking for, Go. Just some more other shirts I got right there. We see y'all on Sunday, y'all. Yeah.